Yeah, but silver price is getting better is a sign that everything else has gone to shit. Yeah, it went from, I don't know, 30 to 60 something.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away. Burn away, we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race.
Glad you got permission to stay up.
Back,
Appreciate it.
back, kill it anyway to play. Haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway to play. Haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
This guy just steal a trailer? Hold on just a second. All right. Let's start the show, I guess.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you
Awesome.
for watching Cold
California
Beer Confessionals with Will Bird.
Pat
that's
Crafter.
just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. I am Will Bird. That was Linda Binda with the intro. I'm Will Bird. This is the Cold Beer Confession. Thank you for joining us. If you want to support the show, if you want to do it, the mods have the link. I got all my links on one website. You just don't have a catchy name for it yet, but you can go there and support the show. That's how we pay the bills around here. I know Christmas is coming up. Money's tight. But if you want to support the show, you want to keep going, go there. We greatly appreciate it. All right. I was just watching this video, and apparently this guy was telling people how to make money, but I'm pretty sure he just stole a trailer. Hold on. You guys, let me know if I got this one wrong.
This is how to make $800 in 2 hours if you have no money. Step 1, find an abandoned trailer. You know, one that's obviously sitting in like a parking lot somewhere, has no locks on it. Nobody wants it. Give it a good look. But once over, somebody put new tires on it. Obviously nobody's needing it, right? Alright, you're gonna pull up to that bit and you're gonna make sure that it's locked down and secured. If you don't have a...
I mean, maybe he's just making the video to be funny, but he's like, just find a trailer nobody wants, hook up to it.
Somebody put new tires on it. Obviously nobody's needing it, right? Alright, you're gonna pull up to that bit and you're gonna make sure that it's locked down and secured. If you don't have a truck or an SUV that tow it, borrow your homeboy. Honestly, it's better that way. Now, steps 2.5 and 3, you should...
So he just stole a trailer. He's going to repaint it.
Done some tape, some tar.
Silver for some reason.
Paint, or a lot of people go with black, but be creative. We're trying to create a sell piece, not a show piece here. Now, for step 4, you're going to find a parking garage with or without infrared cameras, doesn't really matter. And you're going to tarp that bit up, tarp it, tape it. Now, after you have beautifully laid this tarp to impress Rick Rawlings, Jesse James, either one of the Paul Tuttle people, you know, or Boyd Coddington, Chip Foose, yeah, it would impress them all.
Yeah, new life hack is theft. Find a car, it looks like nobody's driving right now. Bust the window out, hotwire that bitch.
God. Oh, okay, might need to take up that light, but that's okay.
Take it and sell it in a rough neighborhood.
I think that was like step 5.5. Something about me, all jokes aside, is I don't care if I make $1 million. I'll never stop doing little hustle shit here and there with little people.
Okay, so he says all jokes aside, maybe maybe he bought it cheap and he's trying to flip it or something.
Right, but it's nice when they do. Now that you're done, oh, wait a minute, bam.
It's just weird he doesn't let us in on the joke.
Total transformation.
When he's like, no, in all seriousness, I bought this for $100 and I'm selling it for, 500 or whatever.
Looking for me, but yeah, I forgot.
Also, that paint's horrible.
Tape and trash.
Just paint it black, bro.
So yeah, this is how to make $800 in 2 hours.
And that's the end of the video. He just tells you how to steal a trailer and repaint it and then sell it, I guess. Let's look at the top news stories this week. You want to? I know ball. Here we go.
There's a lot that happened today here in the United States, and so this is just kind of like a recap for you, so that way you're in the know and it's done in a quick matter. First, we saw a major shakeup inside the Pentagon in which an admiral who's in charge of operations in Latin America decided that he's retiring 2 years early. What would have caused such a thing? Well, the rumor right now is that Pete Hegseth has pushed him out since there's rising tensions about what's going on inside of Venezuela. Obviously, that's not confirmed. It's just a rumor, so take that with a grain of salt. But we also saw a lot of other, say, people in power also leave.
That's probably as rough as it was, that's probably a less than $500 trailer here. I can get a 5x10, and well, here, let's look. Right here, here's a 5x10 that looks a lot nicer than that one. Plus, it has a like a drive-on gate, like a ramp gate, $700. So, yeah.
Leave their positions early because of issues they had with Pete Hegseth.
Oh shit! What happened? Hold on, something's playing.
Say people in power also leave their positions early because of issues they had with Pete Hegseth. In the meanwhile, Donald Trump is going to be nominating a special operations commander in his place. We don't know who that's going to be at this time. Also in the Pentagon, we saw the U.S. Secretary to the Army, Dan Driscoll, told that he's
talking about announcing a new head of the Fed, and that person is going to have to listen to him, which is what's not supposed to happen, right? The Fed shouldn't adjust yet for political end games, right?
No longer taking part in any peace talks whatsoever. This is also connected to Pete.
That's Driscoll is no longer part of the peace talks.
Secretary to the Army, Dan Driscoll, told that he's no longer taking part in any peace talks whatsoever. This is also connected to Pete Hegseth. So it's two people in one day that's kind of getting removed from their position or removed from something because of Pete Hegseth. Then we saw the release of many Epstein photos or photos from the Epstein estate. The images include Epstein alongside people like Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, Steve Bannon, and other people at many different events. Democrats are saying that this now shows that transparency matters. We should be releasing more of these things. While the White House says, well, the Democrats are cherry picking this information, and so it's actually misinformation. They even went as far to dismiss the photos, saying that, well, everyone in Palm Beach knew Epstein. We move over to Venezuela, in which Donald Trump kind of doubled down on everything, saying that the U.S. strikes on drug traffickers could happen anywhere, not just in Venezuela. Which makes you wonder if whether or not that's why that admiral decided to slow down. When it comes to immigration, we saw the Trump administration or the DHS say that they're ending the family reunification parole program. This was for 7 different countries, including Haiti, Cuba, and Honduras, and the parolees now expire on January 14th. Next is healthcare. As you know, that deadline is coming up very shortly, and today...
Why would we end, other than it's good for immigrants, why would we end that program? It's basically for U.S. citizens or long-term permanent residents to bring certain family members from certain countries to the U.S., and they get to wait for green cards here in the U.S. It's the Family Reunification Program, FRP. Colombia, Haiti, Cuba, etc. They allow them to wait for green cards, and they can enter here and work while their visas are being processed. Why? So all those people that are here on that program have until a certain deadline, whatever he said the date was, and then they're going to be kicked out of the country or they become illegal and subject to arrest.
This was for 7 different countries, including Haiti, Cuba, and Honduras, and the parolees now expire on January 14th. Next is healthcare. As you know, that deadline is coming up very shortly, and today, House Republicans released a last...
Remember, Republicans promised to vote on extending the subsidies. That's how they got the government back opened up. Remember? They're not even putting that forward. They're not voting on extending subsidies. They said they might entertain an amendment to extend subsidies for a limited amount of time. I think that Trump... How can I put this? I saw a couple videos on it. You guys remember Trump RX? When Trump came out with his own, he just kind of weirdly announced that he's going to do his own prescription drug coverage and medical coverage and possibly insurance. I think Trump wants to roll everything back to privatize it, get it away from the government, loosen the regulations, and he's going to make money on that end too, with insurance, prescriptions, shit like that.
111-page healthcare proposal after the Senate had failed to extend Obama's subsidies. By the way, if nothing changes, 21 million Americans are going to see their premiums potentially double next year. So
some more than double, but a lot of people, they're going to see their premiums double.
Needs to happen here.
And it's not just ACA people. It's not just people that use the portal, right? Because these companies are fixing to lose a whole bunch of people that are in their pool. Yours might be going up at your business or whatever.
Air Force One is being delayed once again. Boeing is saying that the new jets will not arrive until mid-2028, pushing delivery well past Donald Trump's term, meaning that Trump will never see these aircraft or fly on them. And lastly, Ukraine, in which there was supposed to be a meeting in Paris between U.S. officials, European, and Ukrainians, but it just randomly got canceled. Trump says the proposal is complex but workable, and European leaders right now are working on both sides to see if a deal can finally happen. There's a lot that happened today.
I feel like the country's falling apart, dude. Like, what the fuck is going on? They're destroying everything that's good, amplifying everything that's bad. And what is Trump doing when this is all going on? Hey, you know, shit like this.
Tails has been called. Mr. President, would you do the honor?
Have you ever seen a human flip a coin like this? Where are the QAnon people that are like, that person's a lizard? It didn't even flip. He just put it on his palm and went. I've seen people like hit their arm and flip it, right? He just put it on his palm. It didn't even flip.
President, would you do the honor? It is Tails. Tails has been called. Mr. President, would you do the honor? It is Tails.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is tired of apologizing. She's like, I'm done with fucking apologizing. She's done. It's over. She'll never apologize again. Like he was releasing a dove, yeah.
This interview, President Trump calling you a traitor was a breaking point for you. In the past, you've tweeted, you called Republican Congressman Bob Good a traitor. You called some Republicans who voted for President Biden's infrastructure bill traitor Republicans. You've used that language too. Do you regret that?
Yes, I've already addressed this before, and I'll stand with what I've already said. I've also been the victim of it. I was actually accused by Democrats online of being the pipe bomber on January 5th, which was such an outrageous, dangerous lie that brought death threats on me back in 21 and 22. I've also been used.
By the way, isn't your name suspiciously the same name as the ICE commander? Is that a coincidence? Close enough.
Many times and called a traitor by Democrats in fundraising emails and campaign ads. So again, I want to reiterate, this is a two-way street, and I seem to be the only one willing to take responsibility.
And Congresswoman, in fairness, we've asked Democrats as well. We ask everybody about their past stances and past statements. But we would be remiss if we didn't ask you about this. You say you're taking responsibility for it. I just want to be really clear. Do you regret, do you apologize for saying those things?
I've already addressed this. I said it on CNN. I've said it back in 2020, and thank you. I've already addressed it.
Could you address it here again, though? And if not, why not?
Thank you. I've already addressed it.
Ma'am, I don't want to dwell here, but I don't think you have addressed it here. If it's something you regret, I mean, could you just explain why you don't want to say it again?
I'm sorry, but I don't know why you have this motive.
He may be pressing her a little bit hard, but like, what is the big deal? She can still say like, yeah, I've apologized a bunch. I said it on CNN. I said it on ABC, and I'll say it here again. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. And then just move on. Like, what is the big fucking deal?
I don't quite understand it, but I've already addressed it, and people have thanked me, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity. But this isn't an exercise that I should have to go through on every single interview, and it's quite unbecoming of you to continue to have to push that.
Ma'am, some people would argue that saying colleagues were traitors was unbecoming. I don't think this is an unreasonable question.
See, so this is the toxic nature that I'm talking about. Now you're participating in it yourself here with 11 Alive. And so again, I think you should take responsibility of your own words, the product that you're producing here on your network. I've done my part, so I think it would be good for you to do yours.
Well, ma'am, these are your words, but it seems like we're not going to get any further here. So I do want to ask you one last question.
Oh, you know what? Thank you so much. I appreciate the interview. Hopefully, good luck.
Ma'am, are you going to run again? I know that.
So that was it. He tried. He's like, well, why won't you just say, like, you've called plenty of people a traitor. You said that Trump put your life in danger by calling you a traitor, which he probably did. He's got some crazy followers. I was watching a Krasenstein brother talking about all the times they've been doxxed and swatted, and people call him bomb threats all the time with his name and address or his phone number and address or whatever. And the FBI showed up to his house like 5 times within the last year. But how many times has Marjorie Taylor Greene fucking got on there and with her full power that she has with MAGA when she was in Trump's good graces and called people a traitor? Also, breaking news. You got to listen to this. Okay? Breaking news. We finally have a motive in the Charlie Kirk shooting. I don't know if you guys saw this. See this image right here? Burn that into your brain, okay? This is a big fucking deal. Charlie Kirk's assassin, Tyler Robinson, just so happened to pick the colors of the trans flag for his tie. But yeah, keep telling me it's not him. By the way, this is why he should not have been able to wear street clothes. The message is very clear. A trans tie, chat. Oh, it's not because he's a radical leftist trans supporter who hates Charlie Kirk? Why is he wearing a trans tie? The Quarterings who posted this and goes on to say, watching the same people who believe a bee cult was responsible twist themselves in knots to tell me this of all things is a reach is wild to watch. Clearly, he's setting a message. And that message happens to be he's actually wearing a Trump tie. He's actually wearing a tie from the Donald Trump collection. These fucking lunatics are so goddamn crazy. They're like, oh my God, it's a trans tie! And it's a tie from the Donald Trump collection. Who knows who gave him the tie? I'm sure somebody bought it for him. But still. Trans activist. And as long as we're going with tie colors, what about this one? No one noticed that one. The Quartering didn't call this tie color out. That's a weird choice not to call out, huh? So now we know. The world may never have to wonder anymore what the fuck is going on there. We got some police videos. Trump, I'll say this until I die. Even when I supported him, even back then, I noticed it. And I even brought it up. Mariah's got an uncle who is left, right? And back when I supported Trump, me and him used to get in debates all the time when I would talk to him. And even then, I would have to concede that Trump empowers racists, right? The shit that he said, the remarks he's made, people that are racist, that weren't as vocal about it or maybe were closeted racists or whatever, when they see him and the things he says and the things he does, they get vocal about their racism. Trump empowers racists. And we see example after example after example of this. And most people will be like, oh, well, they didn't mention Trump. How do you know they voted for Trump? Oh, they're just wearing a hat that says Trump 2028. They just got a Trump flag. They just got a Trump shirt. They just got Trump. This lady says it. This lady just says it. The quiet part out loud, which is really the loud part if you're looking for it.
Tracy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. I wish I didn't have to be here to talk with you about what I'm talking with you about.
Why are you here?
So,
what?
Well, because of what you were doing today. You can't just be flipping.
This is back in May, by the way.
Flipping people off, making them feel uncomfortable.
Because a Mexican, stopped me.
Okay. I don't think that's what happened.
You know what? They need to go back to Mexico.
Okay, you can't be saying things like that.
Yeah,
right?
I can.
No,
yeah, I can. No, it's not racist.
So here's the thing, Tracy.
Tracy. Our president of the United States.
Tracy.
Our president of the United States, Trump.
Tracy.
No, it's not racist. Our president of the United States is Trump.
No impact.
These are her neighbors. And from what I can gather from looking at other angles and other people's videos, this is just the easiest one to grab off TikTok. But there's a full video on YouTube. There is street parking down the road from her house. Like her house sits on a lot. Then there's like a vacant lot that has like some trees and shit in it. Then there's another lot. And there's street parking, and you can only park on one side of the street, which happens to be her side. Her neighbors live on the other side of the street, but it doesn't matter. All the street parking is just on the right-hand side. Like if you're looking the way this cop is going, all street parking is on the right-hand side. And that street parking is available first come, first serve. It's not for a unit. If you own one of these houses, you have driveway parking. You have visitors over. You have street parking. And the street parking is just first come, first serve. There's no reserve. There's no nothing, right? Anybody can street park. They are down. They had a car, a whole lot down, and in front of their house, street parking. And she flips out about it, leaves them notes, yells racist shit at them, tells them she's going to have them deported, shit like that.
That's neither here nor there, okay? They live over there, you live over here, all right? We're gonna stay like that, but if you start touching people's cars, leaving notes on it, listen, just listen.
Time out. Time the out.
I've seen the notes.
Time the out. When did you see the notes?
She just showed them to me.
When?
Just now.
From when?
It's in the past. I don't know. She said it started
It's in the past.
She said it started
It's
3
in the
years ago.
past.
The notes are.
For the last 3 years, she's been harassing them.
Right.
But the behavior is continuing.
I don't give a shit.
Okay, well, you probably should, because
No.
that's why we're here.
No.
And then this could lead to
No.
criminal charges if things...
Criminal charges for what? Because they need to go back to
We
Mexico?
could start with disorderly conduct.
Criminal charges for what? Because they need to go back to Mexico?
If things...
Criminal charges for what? Because they need to go back to
We
Mexico?
could start with disorderly conduct.
Disorderly conduct for
At
what?
the very least.
Well,
You're alarming and disturbing people.
it's starving people how?
They don't feel safe because of what you're doing and saying and how you're
Right,
acting.
because they park their car on my street?
Your street is... You do not own the street.
Oh, okay, so...
You're more than welcome to park your car there so they can't.
Okay, so Trump says...
Trump has nothing to do with North
Trump's
World
our
right now.
president.
I understand that, but he has nothing
You
to...
understand that, right?
Yes, but he has
Okay,
nothing
you
to do with
understand
North
that,
World.
right? Correct?
Correct.
You understand that?
Yes.
She's just drunk enough to show her true colors.
Okay. Do you understand that?
Tracy, you've asked me that 4 times in a row, and I've said the same thing.
And I've said the same thing to you. They park there.
They can do that.
They can do that, and they're looking at me.
It's a public street.
They're looking at me.
Everyone pays the same
Intelligent.
taxes.
I pay the same taxes too.
All right, then you can also
Yeah, you're part of everyone, you dumb bitch.
park your car there. But this is...
I don't park my car there.
Tracy, can we all agree that this is a little ridiculous?
No, I can't agree. I can't agree.
Okay. I think what you...
Jackass is contacting me via
That
no
doesn't-
caller ID.
I don't
right?
care. Tracy,
Hi, how are you?
There's a part 2.
Tracy.
Yeah, you don't care
I
because
don't care about that. I'm not
I
here for
could
that.
die,
I'm
and you
not
don't
here for that.
care.
I am not here for that. What I
You
think
don't
you need
But wait, did you guys know that her dad was in the army?
to do is go inside.
I think you need to
Go inside.
Dee Dee Mao.
Tracy, I can put a front line in so that people do extra patrols in the neighborhood for that.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to talk to him now.
That's
Okay?
fine. But he's
Because
probably
you
say
are
this.
nothing.
Tracy.
Like my dad served in the U.S. Army,
If you want to talk to him,
and
talk
you
to
don't
him.
deserve a flag on your casket.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk to him.
Okay. If you want to talk to him,
Put
then
that
do
extra
that.
patrol in here.
My dad served in the army, and you don't deserve a flag on your casket.
But you
Thank
can't
you.
be yelling at your neighbors just because they're a
Yelling
certain
at who?
race. You can't be targeting them because they're a
I
certain
didn't say
race.
they were a certain race.
Well, you said they were Mexican. They had to go back to Mexico.
Well,
You said that.
They do.
No, they don't. They're citizens here. They
Well,
can stay here.
are they citizens?
How would you know that?
How do you know that?
I can't assume that they're not citizens. If someone's here, I just
So,
assume they're citizens
then
until
you
I
need
have
to go
evidence.
down there and
How do I know
find
you're?
out-
How do I know you're a citizen?
Because my dad served in the United States Army.
It doesn't mean you're a citizen.
Because my dad served in the United States Army. That's how I'm a citizen.
A citizen.
But how do I know you are compared to them?
Exactly.
So then, should we send you back to wherever your ancestors are?
Where am I? I'm in the United States of
So are
America.
they.
So where are they?
Tracy.
Oh, shit. My bad. Hold on.
Tracy.
Yeah, you don't.
You said that.
They do.
No, they don't. They're citizens. But how do I know you are compared to them?
Exactly.
So then, should we send you back to wherever your ancestors are?
Where am I? I'm in the United States of
So are
America.
they.
So where are they? I'm not talking to you.
They're in the United
by the
States of
way,
America.
That's
I'm
fine.
not talking to you.
I appreciate
Okay.
that.
It's
Yeah, I appreciate
Now she's mad because this other cop is smiling.
that too.
Tracy,
I've never seen you.
he's sleeping anyways. Don't worry about it.
I'm gonna talk to you. can't. My dad served the United States Army and fought for our country.
We appreciate that.
That's right.
She looks like she might be a little bit more ethnic than just white. This other girl here.
Orange, by the way, you little millennial.
And you can't be.
You're a fucking millennial that
Tracy.
keeps smiling.
Tracy.
Keep smiling.
Tracy.
My dad, I have Agent Orange. I have Agent Orange in my bloodstream.
Okay.
She has Agent Orange in her bloodstream.
You weren't even born when my dad served our country.
Correct. You are.
Correct.
You are more than
correct. So you got me on video?
Yes.
All right, I'm not talking to you anymore.
You've said that a couple times.
I'm not talking to you. You're a little millennial.
You're good to go.
All right.
So they end up having to give her a ticket. She will not stop. Disorderly or disturbing the peace or something.
Cited for disorderly conduct, it's a must appear. Okay. So June 18th, you have to go to the North Police Department and talk to them about
Didi Mao. Didi Mao.
Don't know what you're saying.
I'm saying Didi Mao is Vietnamese for get out.
Okay. Fair enough. June 18th. Don't miss it.
Bye.
Tracy.
Yeah, you don't care because
I don't know why she's so obsessed with Vietnam. Her dad must have told her some fucking, I don't know. Didi Mao means hurry up or quickly, right? It's like an old Vietnam era veteran thing. They say it a lot because they said it a lot overseas when they were telling people to move quickly or whatever. But I don't know why she's obsessed with it. She didn't serve. She's still talking about her dad. Also, this has nothing to do with the show tonight, but I want to see what this is. This is he got fired from BMW, then he made it 10 times worse. I wonder what he did.
So if we can do things peacefully.
Oh, shit, that's part two. That's part two. Where's part one?
Why'd I do that? Huh? Why'd I do that?
Enabled, I got falsely tased by the police.
Oh, well, you met a good cop today, so.
That was good.
What's going on today?
I have enough evidence to show. Hey, come and do this hot shot.
We're gonna talk right here.
I was just fired.
I'm sorry about
He's got a speech impediment, clearly, but.
No, I'm actually not fired. I'm actually letting Bobby go.
Well, you were let go. He was let go, correct? Okay. All right. Does he need to leave? Yes. Okay. Do you have stuff you need to grab and get going?
Why?
Because you're fired. That's why they call me here. They say
this is illegal, though.
Okay. Well, that's something that you can try to civilly sue them for. Okay. But right now they're letting you go, so they want you off the premises.
He looks pretty determined. I'm afraid he's going to do something stupid.
And I'm just here to make sure everything stays peaceful.
Everything is peaceful, officer.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get your stuff and get you on your way.
I belong here, sir.
Okay. Well, not anymore. So,
legally.
Where's your stuff at?
My toolbox is inside.
Okay. Does this gentleman here know where your toolbox is? Okay. Could you go grab it for him?
It's a big box. I have enough illegal evidence that BMW has been doing this to this dealership. It's 90 degrees in the shop. BMW is required to have AC, and it's ridiculous.
So that's something that you'd have to take to court and go against BMW. So otherwise, we're going to get your stuff and we're going to get out of here. They called me because they were claiming that you might have been a little bit unruly or unhappy, and they were a little afraid. So that's why I'm here. So let's go get your stuff.
I would prefer to sit in the shop office.
Nope. At this point, if you're not working here, it's time to be going.
I
do work.
He told him not to go back in the shop.
No, they let you go, my man.
Sit down with me, officer.
I'm good, man. My butt's too big for that chair. What are we doing here?
I have rights to be here. I have not done anything.
What's your rights to be here?
I have not done anything wrong. I've been working on this car. I just took the car out. He's preventing me from
what?
This dealership is illegal.
Okay. Well, this is not something we can debate right now. I have no say in any of that. What I am here for is that since you have been let go, they now want you out of here. If you continue to stay here, you're trespassing. So I don't want to go that route. Okay, well, I don't want to go that route. So why would I do that?
All right, let's go to part two, because I want to see if he does actually make it much worse.
If we can do things peacefully, then we can come back and get your box peacefully, all that stuff. But right now, you got to go.
Are you going to arrest me, officer?
If you don't leave, yeah. And I don't want to do that. I got much bigger fish to fry, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm not a bad person.
I don't think you are.
I guess we all get to sit in this hot shop.
I feel like he's just having a bad day so far, and I could kind of, relate to that, but.
Well, no, I'm going to give you about 2 minutes, and if we're not walking out by then, I'm going to put your hand up, and you're going to be arrested for trespassing.
Really?
Would that be okay? Okay. They don't
want you here. You're verbally threatened. Perfect. So, Justin, what we can do, man? I don't want to be here dealing with this. I don't want to be bothering you. Tire pressure gauge? Oh, for the air.
It's a temperature gauge.
Yep. What are you going to do with this?
Read it.
Okay. Yeah, it's 90 degrees. It's hot.
Yeah,
It's a warehouse job.
This isn't a warehouse job.
Okay. What are we doing here? Because I'm not going to be the judge that actually helped you. You'd have to go to a civil court for that.
He handed him a thermometer, and it was 90 degrees.
Okay. 84B is my jacket. Close. All right, are we leaving, or are you going to handcuffs? What are we doing? This is it. Your last warning.
Honestly, I'm not trespassing. I have not done anything wrong, officer.
Okay, are we getting up and walking out, or are you going with me?
It's your last hand, please, man.
I've been cool with you this whole time. I've been talking to you.
No, absolutely.
Okay, so we're leaving or not?
You're probably going to jail. That's what all it is.
It's just going to make you a lot worse.
I'm not trespassing here.
And don't get the charge. Just leave.
Hey, we're in trespass warrant. And I told you several times if you do not leave, I'm going to have to arrest you for trespass. And I don't want to do that. Either way, you're leaving. So whether or not you go home on your own or whether or not you go to jail with me.
I want you to know everyone is safe here, officer.
Great.
Everyone in this dealership is safe.
All right. So you getting arrested or not?
You want to go to jail or you want to go home?
I do not want to go to jail.
All right. Let's walk out.
Damn it, dude.
You have opportunity.
You're fucking up.
I respect both of you, officer.
And I'm sure he thinks he's probably in the right, you know, and the shop has to be air conditioned and they're fucking him somehow, but still, man.
I told you got to be cops. So what are we doing? Are we
You could still fight that battle tomorrow.
walk out. You need to get up right now or I'm arrested. I'm done trying to convince you. I've been trying to convince you for 5 minutes. I've given you more than enough grace.
Do you understand that
Yes, it is too hot here. I understand that. That's not something I can do anything about. I have told you multiple times that you're out being idiot.
That's a cool BMW grill he's got there.
Listen, you move the car out the way, you're free to go.
Let's go home, man. I know it sucks, dude. I hate it. I mean, getting fired.
There's not going to be a part 3, goddammit. I bet you we just got fucks. There's no part 3, so we have no idea how it ends. God damn it. Cucked on my own show. Look at that. All right. Watch this shit.
We usually did before tours. We said our prayer, and we asked the Lord to protect us, and we asked the Lord that His will be done. That's what we did. We usually did before tours. We said our prayer, and we asked the Lord to protect us, and we asked the Lord that His will be done. That's what we did. We usually did before tours. We said our prayer, and we asked the Lord to protect us, and we asked the Lord that His will be done.
Why is she trying to focus on my soul?
That's what we did. We usually did before tours. We said our prayer, and we asked the Lord to protect us, and we asked the Lord that His will be done.
What is she doing with her eyes,
Usually
bro?
did before tours. We said our prayer, and we asked the Lord to protect us, and we asked the Lord that His will be done. That's what we did. We usually did before tours. We said our prayer, and we asked the Lord to protect us.
There's been so many people talking about her fucking weird ass eyes. I don't know what is going. Like she like looks up and then she like fucking looks through the camera like this hardcore focus mode.
We usually did before tours. We said our prayer.
Watch it now.
And we asked the Lord to protect us.
Now.
And we asked the Lord that His will be done.
Now. Like what is that?
We usually did before tours. We said our prayer, and we asked the Lord to protect us, and we asked the Lord that His will be done. That's what we did. We usually did before tours. We said our prayer, and we asked the Lord to protect us, and we asked the Lord that His will be done. That's what we did. We usually did before tours.
Those eyes, there's something, I don't know what. There's something, what the fuck is wrong with her eyes?
But we serve a just
Look how it
God,
changes.
and I rest easy in knowing that He's sovereign.
She does it in every interview, and now you can't unsee it.
The Lord handle that.
If you don't want this sleep demon popping up in your bedroom tonight, please consider a donation at the link provided by the mods. You can help support the show, and I promise to keep sleep demons away. Sleep paralysis demons, okay?
No, of course. But we serve a just God. And I rest easy in knowing that He's sovereign, but He's just. And so let the Lord handle that. No, of course. But we serve a just God. And I rest easy in knowing that.
We usually did before tours. We said our prayer, and we asked the Lord to protect us, and we asked the Lord that His will be done. That's what we did.
What is she doing, dude? Multiple different interviews.
I'll guard my words.
The I don't know portion of.
Why are you so angry? What is that?
Yes.
I'll guard my words.
The I don't know portion of where I sit today, which I'm very. Yes.
I'll guard my words.
That's not just she's focusing. Something's happening, dude.
The I don't know portion of where I sit today, which I'm very. Yes.
I'll guard my words.
The I don't know portion of where I sit today, which I'm very. Yes.
It's like she's trying to tune into some shit. What is that? Your favorite horror movie?
The I don't know portion of where I sit.
But we serve a just God. And I rest easy in knowing that He's sovereign, but He's just. And so let the Lord.
I'm kind of glad Charlie Kirk got away from her. May have done her a favor. May have done him a favor. Sudden and drastic change at the mention of Candace Owens.
Okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's, at one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out in
Trump Guzzler 2028.
into the world?
You nailed me.
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say.
By the way, that's the title of her book. Stop.
Stop.
Something weird's happening. I don't know.
But we serve a just God. And I rest easy in knowing that He's sovereign, but He's just. And so let the Lord.
That's fucking terrifying,
Don't you ever
dude.
say I did. We wrestle not with flesh and blood.
She does remind me of Kenneth Copeland Oz.
We serve a just God.
All right, you ready for the terrifying news that MAGA will never acknowledge? This is bad for everybody. Currently, the Trump administration is arguing in court that a real ID or state ID is not good enough to prove citizenship. So that means anybody that ICE wants to detain, they can grab you, they can disappear you, they can run biometrics on you, which is what they've been doing with all these immigrants. I think there's a bunch of money being made in the metadata around the biometric bullshit of immigrants and people they arrest. Everybody is getting a facial recognition scan that they arrest. And the only way that you could potentially avoid this, even if you're a U.S. citizen, is to have your passport on you. And how many people, millions of Americans, don't even have passports? Check this out.
Every single time that I think Republicans couldn't possibly come up with any more ways to show how little they respect American voters, they somehow managed to prove me wrong yet again. But this time is a real doozy. Because in Michigan right now, House Republicans are violating both the Constitution and the ruling of not one, but two different courts in an attempt to subvert the will of the people and block 9 bills from being...
Oh, this isn't even the right video. Hold on. That is a video, but that's not the one I'm looking for. Here it is. This is the one I'm looking for. We'll watch that video in just a minute.
Oh, this is big news, and it's probably going to go to the Supreme Court. And let me tell you, this is terrifying, and I am not being hyperbolic here. ICE is in court right now arguing on behalf of American citizens for a Papers, Please America. Their position right here in black and white is that state ID...
Only after being cuffed, plaintiff stated he had identification in his pocket. He was then brought to stand by the government vehicles. A subsequent search of his pockets by the HSI special agent located plaintiff's wallet containing plaintiff's real ID compliant Alabama driver's license, as well as a second driver's license. HSI agent needed to further verify his U.S. citizenship because each state has its own real ID compliance laws, which may provide for the issuance of something, and therefore, based on HSI special agent training and experience, it does not confirm U.S. citizenship.
And real IDs are no longer...
Real ID was supposed to be the upgrade to where you didn't have to jump through all these hoops, right? It's even more stringent to get real ID.
Reliable proof that you belong in the United States of America, which means, according to them, immigration agents can stop you, detain you, handcuff you, and run your biometrics without probable cause until the government decides whether you're allowed to be free, whether you're here legally. And that is not law enforcement. That is pre-constitutional policing. This is how secret police operate, not by charging you with a crime, but by suspending your liberty while they check to make sure that you're innocent. See, ICE is effectively arguing that citizens is conditional unless you have a passport on you, because that is the only paperwork that's going to work in their view. So let's talk about what that actually means in real life, because most Americans don't carry a
what that means for everybody, including you and me.
Passport. Millions don't.
If they want to snatch you up, they can snatch you up, and short of you having your passport and them accepting your passport as valid.
Have one. So who's going to get stopped? People with accents, people with brown skin, people who look foreign. And ICE says they're not targeting citizens, but their own argument makes citizens detainable first and innocent later. That flips the Constitution on its head. You're presumed guilty first, in their view. I mean, the Fourth Amendment at least requires probable cause, and the Fifth guarantees due process. ICE is trying to bypass both of those amendments by calling these detention administrative.
How many people carry their passport with them every fucking day? Do you guys? Millions of Americans don't even have a passport.
But there's nothing administrative about being handcuffed, held for any length of time, fingerprinted, and treated like a suspect without suspicion simply because of the color of your skin or an accent. And this is not about border security. This is about
Yeah, Trump will be dead in 6 months, maybe 8 months.
And government power to stop and restrain whoever they choose, and forcing you to prove that you are innocent rather than prove that you're guilty. And courts fortunately have not approved this yet, but the fact that the federal government has even been making this argument tells you everything. And this is going to go to the Supreme Court, a 6-3 conservatively biased towards Donald Trump Supreme Court. I mean, this is a vision of America where freedom is provisional, citizenship is interrogated, and rights depend on what's in your pocket. And that's not security. That's authoritarianism with a badge. And if people don't push back now, this won't stop with immigration checks, because it never does. Oh, this is big news, and it's probably going to go to the Supreme Court. And let me tell you, this is terrifying, and I am not being hyperbolic here. ICE is in court right now arguing on behalf of American citizens for a Papers, Please America. Their position right here in black and white is that state IDs... and
that's our government arguing that this isn't good enough. Yes, Homeland Security, HSI, a division of ICE, is arguing in multiple court filings that they do not consider a standard real ID to be reliable proof of status or U.S. citizenship, and neither is state-issued ID, no ID, nothing short of a passport. Fucking insane, dude. It's bad and getting worse. So it seems like then they're going to use ICE even more so to just demoralize people, right? If you say fuck ICE, or you say you can't do that, or you're recording an arrest, they get you too, right? They fucking snatch you up too. They take you somewhere you sit for 3 or 4 days or 3 or 4 hours, whatever. They scan your biometrics. Right, they're doing facial recognition scans on everybody they arrest. Who's that data going to? One of the tech bros, you think?
Every single time.
This is Michigan. What's going on with Michigan right now, which is fucking wild. Michigan voters have voted multiple times to change the law, and Republicans refuse to acknowledge it.
Every single time that I think Republicans couldn't possibly come up with any more ways to show how little they respect American voters, they somehow managed to prove me wrong yet again. But this time is a real doozy. Because in Michigan right now, House Republicans are violating both the Constitution and the ruling of not one, but two different courts in an attempt to subvert the will of the people and block 9 bills from being signed into law. Even though all 9 of those bills have already passed both the state Senate and the House. Here's the quick rundown of what's going on. And stick with me because it's a little complicated.
By the way, one of these guys, which was Jesus Gutierrez, he proved that he was a U.S. citizen, and they were getting ready to kick him loose, and then someone remembered they hadn't scanned his face yet and refused to let him go until after he'd already proved he was a citizen. They had to scan his face first before they let him go.
Very worth it because it shows just how egregiously corrupt Republicans really are. So in 2018, Michigan voters proposed 2 ballot initiatives that they wanted to put to a vote of the people. One was to raise the state's minimum wage, and the other was to mandate paid sick leave. Pretty great, right? Well, these initiatives made elected Republicans in the state big mad, but they knew they weren't going to be able to defeat the ballot initiatives fair and square, so they decided to play dirty instead, using a tactic known as adopt and amend. Essentially, Republicans said to their constituents, "Oh, wow, what a great idea. We're totally going to implement this into law," turning the ballot initiative into a legislative bill instead. Then, after the election passes without those initiatives on the ballot, Republicans went back in and amended the bills over and over and over again until there was nothing left from the original ballot initiative. This was obviously challenged in court, and eventually it worked its way up to the state Supreme Court. The Supreme Court was not impressed with Republicans' bullshit and ruled in 2024 that the Republican-led legislature had subverted the will of the people because duh. Then Republicans began demanding that Democrats, who at the time had now gained control of both the House and Senate, work with them to modify the 2 initiatives and remove the parts that Republicans hated the most. And when Democrats refused, because again, duh, House Republicans threw a massive temper tantrum, walking out of session en masse to deny the legislative body a quorum and prevent any work from getting done. And then they just stayed gone for the remaining few days of the legislative session. So the House was just unable to do any further work that legislative year. Right before they walked out, however, 9 different bills had been voted on and passed successfully. But because Republicans prevented a quorum right afterward, those bills weren't yet sent to the governor's desk for consideration. And then the November election happened, and Republicans won back control of the state house. So now they're back in session, only this time with Republicans, unfortunately, in the driver's seat, and those Republicans have just refused to send those 9 bills, which would improve the lives of hundreds of thousands of Michigan workers, up to the governor's desk for her signature. And
Michigan voters voted this in, and they're just refusing to do anything with it.
this too has been challenged in court twice, actually. And both the Michigan Court of Appeals and the Michigan Court of...
The name of the app they're using that they've had made for themselves is called Mobile Fortify.
Claims ruled against the Republicans. But despite all that, Republicans still haven't given up on their fight to subvert the will of the people. And this week, they appealed the lower court's ruling yet again, asking the Michigan Supreme Court to take it up. So they are now on year 7 of this bullshit, all because Republicans couldn't stand the thought of having to respect the will of their own voters. And just imagine how much more we could get done as a country if Republicans worked even half as hard at improving the lives of their constituents. God, what a world that would be. Every single time that I...
Pretty fucking insane. Like, they're voting for things to improve their lives. It's passing overwhelmingly. And Republicans find a way to block it because their donors or whatever don't fucking like it. What were the two? Hold on.
Republicans couldn't possibly possibly come up with
What were the issues? One of them was on sick leave, right?
to show how little they respect American voters, they somehow managed to prove me wrong yet again. But this time is a real doozy. Because in Michigan right now, House Republicans are violating both the Constitution and the ruling of not one, but 2 different courts in an attempt to subvert the will of the people and block 9 bills from being signed into law, even though all 9 of those bills have already passed both the state Senate and the House. Here's the quick rundown of what's going on. And stick with me because it's a little complicated at first, but it is very worth it because it shows just how egregiously corrupt Republicans really are. So in 2018, Michigan voters proposed 2 ballot initiatives that they wanted to put to a vote of the people. One was to raise the state's minimum wage, and the other was to mandate paid sick leave. Pretty
sick
great,
leave.
Right? Well,
Minimum wage and sick leave would obviously affect them. But who's donating enough money to someone's campaign to make sure this never sees the light of day?
Initiatives made elected Republicans in the state big mad, but they knew they weren't going to be able to defeat the ballot initiatives fair and square, so they decided to play dirty instead, using a tactic known as adopt and amend. Essentially, Republicans said to their constituents, oh wow, what a great idea! We're totally going to implement this into law, turning the ballot initiative into a legislative bill instead. Then, after the election passes without those initiatives on the ballot, Republicans went back in and amended the bills over and over and over again until there was nothing left from the original ballot initiative. This was obviously challenged in court, and eventually it worked its way up to the state Supreme Court. The Supreme Court was not impressed with Republicans' bullshit and ruled in 2024 that the Republican-led legislature had subverted the will of the people because duh. Then, Republicans began demanding that Democrats, who at the time had now gained control of both the House and Senate, work with them to modify the 2 initiatives and remove the parts that Republicans hated the most. And when Democrats refused, because again, duh, House Republicans threw a
They just left and refused to have a quorum.
massive temper tantrum, walking out of session en masse to deny the legislative body a quorum and prevent any work from getting done. And then they just stayed gone for the remaining few days of the legislative session. So the House was just unable to do any further work that legislative year. Right before they walked out, however, 9 different bills had been voted on and passed successfully. But because Republicans prevented a quorum right afterward, those bills weren't yet sent to the governor's desk for consideration. And then the November election happened, and Republicans won back control of the state House. So now they're back in session, only this time with Republicans, unfortunately, in the driver's seat, and those Republicans have just refused to send those 9 bills, which would improve the lives of hundreds.
Just leave it on fuck, dude. Minimum wage has been $5.15 since probably Clinton. I don't know that he it went up $7.25 under Obama, but I don't know that those presidents passed it as much as it was already built in. Hold on, I would have to look. Franklin D. Roosevelt, but later found to be unconstitutional. In 1838, they slashed 25 cents an hour. Purchasing power peaked, blah, blah, blah. Minimum Wage Act 2007. Congress passed the Minimum Wage Act in 2007 for $7.25. I thought maybe it was like on a time thing where it automatically bumped up, but it doesn't look that way. Insane. And it was initially passed. It was a living. People now say, oh, well, we shouldn't raise the minimum wage because those are starter jobs and people shouldn't be able to live a life on those wages because they should just get better jobs. Bullshit. It was initially made to where the person could have a living wage. The person could fucking survive on it. That's what it was there for. Not, oh, that's a starter job and fuck it, anybody that doesn't want that job, I guess. I don't know. The argument's dumb at this point. We have our price tracker. Have we done that yet?
If the economy is as strong as the president has said it is, then why is he telling parents 2 weeks before Christmas that they should only buy 2 or 3 dolls for their children?
With respect to affordability, every economic metric, Caitlin, and I wish you would report more on it, does in fact show that the economy is getting better and brighter than where.
About 68 weeks ago, we were given a promise by Donald Trump that housing and the economy overall would be affordable again.
Starting on day 1, we will end inflation and make America affordable again.
Upon hearing Donald J. Trump's promises about making the housing market more affordable again, I decided to create a document. Originally, just wanted to track housing. Is it becoming more affordable?
He's tracking everything from like flat screen TVs, washer and dryers, energy, bread, milk, mayonnaise, like hundreds of data points.
Affordable or not, tracking the cost of different types of homes, cost of financing them, and whether or not we actually have a supply crisis. We've even gamified a housing crash tracker with numbers and colors to see how close we are to a potential crash. Really, my favorite part of this document, though, is now all the way back.
So out of all these things he's tracking, right, there's 1, 2, 3 items that are down. Streaming services or cable, internet, and a used car. And mostly the used car is like, I don't know if you guys remember, but during COVID, used cars were selling for more than people bought them when they were new.
To 1991, we have data on bills, household goods, expenses, rent, beef, water heaters, everything that matters to a normal everyday American. We're tracking this document to see whether or not this economy is actually more or less affordable than times past.
You know, and grocery prices have been up. So we've covered the economy, but there's mixed.
There are mixed signals, so let's clear it up with some data. Evidence just as every single expense that could matter to you in your home, about 40% of it is food, and I will say that almost every single food item is up.
Inflation is down from where it was. As measured by the overall CPI, it has slowed to an average 2.5%.
Nope, that's a lie.
What the president inherited.
The most recent CPI data we have.
So what she's doing is trying to take all the months of Trump and combine them to an average 2.5, because a couple months it did dip really low. But right now, we're trending back up. Hold on. And they keep telling us that we're trending down. We are trending up again. Hold on, he'll show it in a second. I don't have it. I'm trying to find it.
Shows an inflation rate year over year of 3.0%. The same inflation rate that was inherited. Average for this year isn't 2.5%. It's actually 2.72%. Even with that average, we can see that we are trending upward.
The president inherited 2.9% in January.
Oh, he just showed it. I missed it.
No, 2.9. Average for this year isn't 2.5%. It's actually 2.72%. Even with that average, we can see that
we're going back up again, right? We had this dip. We're going back up again. And it's currently at 3%.
The president inherited 2.9% in January.
3%, not 2.9.
Today it's at about 2.5%. So we're trending in the right direction?
No.
No. That would be a trend that's just continually going down if we were trending in the right direction. We went down a little bit, but we're headed back and we're at where he started.
Because today's is actually 3%, not 2.5%, and I don't know anything about trends, and maybe Miss Caroline doesn't either. But does this look like it's trending up or down?
We believe that number is going to continue to decline.
Again, not declining.
Especially as energy and oil prices continue to decline as well.
Now, this is an interesting...
Trump's just trying to tell everybody that if he gets gas cheap enough, that everything else will be cheap. That's not how it works, but okay.
I've heard Donald Trump say this. I've heard Scott Bessent say it. I heard Kevin Hassett say it, talking about oil prices are coming down, and this is a good thing for the economy. Let me show you this graph. Now, before I tell you what this graph means, let me tell you what it says. This is propane, and this is since about 1992, and the gray bars you can see on this graph above me are recessions. Now, just without me saying anything, what do you notice happens to the price of oil as we enter into a recessionary period? What do you see happening on those gray blocks?
So this is into a recession, drops, into a recession, drops, into a recession, drops, and we're on one of those drops. But this is mostly due to foreign oil, and it's kind of fucking our own oil market.
Is it going up or is it going down? We're connected with several people who work in the oil industry that are saying that $40 a barrel is upcoming. We're currently trending in the mid-50s. This would signal not...
$40 a barrel would be detrimental to our domestic oil production.
Economic strength, but based off history... Causation versus correlation. There have been times where oil's gone down. We haven't met recession, but it typically isn't a sign of a good thing.
It wasn't high under Biden. They're just saying it's not.
Well, nobody reported on it being high under Biden.
Here's a press briefing you can go read through that talks a lot about inflation. The White House Press Secretary Karine was asked about the Inflation Reduction Act and how to get prices down from being high for a long time.
He wants to make sure that the American people know the work that he's been doing and how he has put inflation as number one thing that he wants to get done as it relates to the economy. And time again, we have seen analysts' predictions proven wrong.
In there, she talked about gas prices going down, the cost of rent going down, and all these costs going down, and analysts being proven wrong. But did Biden get inflation down?
Everything I'm telling you is the truth, backed by real factual data, and you just don't want to report on it because you want to push untrue narratives about the president.
I adore real factual data. So let's look at what this sheet shows with that real factual data. It shows that beef, coffee are up, car parts, clothing, education for children, up. Let's look through health insurance, rent, natural gas, sewer, cleaning supplies, sugar, flour, bananas, potatoes, lettuce, cheddar cheese, up. This sheet is in my bio too if you want to see this. Red means prices are up. We made it easier to read. Green means prices are down. And there's also super red.
CPI in January when you took office was 3%, and in September, the last month for which we have data, it was also 3%, so inflation. No, it's 2.5%. Not in September, it was 3%.
I didn't create this video, nor did I create the Trump tracker as a knock against Donald Trump, but more as proving what I was already finding to be more than likely true. That both are a wing, look at that pit sweat, of a bird, a red wing and a blue bird, and a bird that is chasing green. It's two wings of the same bird, blue versus red, to get you distracted from green. That's all they're doing, y'all. The inflation's gonna stay up, the gold's gonna keep sifting, and the billionaires gonna keep billioning. Billionaires, Billy and I went to the store. Listen, just keep fighting for you and fighting for the people that matter most to you. When you listen to this type of stuff, I just want you to know very clear factual evidence that it's just jargon. It's just propaganda. They're just gaslighting. There's something that's coming, whatever. There's going to be distraction, whatever. It's just a part of the game. EA Sports. It's in the game. All right, guys.
If the economy is as strong as...
I think we can get to his spreadsheet. Housing health score 53.1, affordability crisis, supply breakdown. We take the current supply of homes, compare it to a national target. The result is scaled from 0 to 100 based on how close we are to needed home inventory. Affordability breakdown. That's not the one I want. Housing score breakdown. This is not the one I want. It is, but it doesn't link right, does it? It shows it right there. Is there another page? He has like 20 or 30 people working on this, but I don't know how to get to the other page. The one about the, maybe down here. Fred history, Fred cost index. Investment history. Fred history. Aha. We've got more. What are these bills? Okay, bills that have to do with housing. Affordability by region. Northeast, Midwest, Southwest. Housing crash tracker. Unemployment rate, 4.4. FHA mortgage delinquency rate. Investment tracker. Resale home median. New construction median. Affordable home median, mortgage rates, Fed rate, 10-year Treasury yield, core inflation rate. Everything Trump has done so far that affects housing. Latest on housing and urban development project 2025 tracker, projected housing related changes. Silver is doing good. Year over year, 95.3%, and gold's only up 53%. Wonder how Phil's doing. Okay, here we go. So softwood lumber is down a little bit. Steel is up. Shingles are up. Plumbing, concrete up. Plumbing's up major, 10.1%. Concrete's up just 0.7. Power's up. Milk's up. Eggs are down. Bird flu. Bread is down a little bit. 3.3% or 6 cents. Boneless chicken up. Gallon of gas up. Home insurance up. Car insurance up. Medical care up. Food overall from the Consumer Price Index. It links back to where he's pulling all these sources from. Doors and windows are way up. Food is up. HVAC systems up. Fridge is up. Water heater's up. Beef is a major up. Coffee is major rise. Car parts up. Child care and education up. Clothing up. Used car stable. Health insurance up. Rent up. Natural gas, heat up. Sewer up. Public transit fees down 2.1%. Furniture up. Cleaning supplies up. Streaming cable TV is down 0.2%. It's marked as stable. Internet down 0.1%, marked as stable. Food away from home up. Personal care up. Rice per pound is up. Flour per pound stable, up 0.5%. Sugar per pound up. Tomatoes per pound down. Oh, there you go. Bananas per pound up. Potatoes per pound up. Lettuce up. Cheddar cheese up. Bacon up. Jesus Christ. Potato chips up. Disposable diapers up. Oranges per pound up. Major rise. 17.8%. Toilet paper up. Trash collection up. Cereal up. First aid supplies stable. Cooking oil stable. Salt and pepper up. Tea drop. 5.5% on tea. From the Fed Producer Price Index. Wine is stable. Dental care up. Energy drinks up. Insulin stable. Diesel fuel stable. Kitchen appliances up. Pet food stable. Computer up. RAM is going through the fucking roof, dude. Lawn care stable. Computer and electronic product manufacturing. This is all from Fred. Producer Price Index. All these link back. They've just been tracking. They're not producing the numbers. They're just tracking the numbers in a spreadsheet that combines it all. And it was last updated today. Like I said, I think he's got like 20 people that help him work on this and add new categories and shit like that. And you can suggest new categories in there. Where's a major rise? Let's look at beef. Damn. Let's do just since Trump took office. December of 2024. Well, let's say January. Right? It's at 5.54 a pound. We're up at $6.32 a pound. For a 14.1% raise in price. For a major rise. I think they're calling anything over 10% a major rise or major drop. I thought 5 minutes ago it wasn't a source. We've looked at this before, chat. I don't know if you guys remember. We go through this. I don't know. It's probably been a couple months since we looked at it. What's this major drop in eggs? Oh, a lot of that has to do with bird flu, though. But we'll see. From the time Trump took office. Let's grab it again. January 2025 is what we're looking for. Oh, yeah. Big drop. 348. Is this a dozen? Cost per dozen, U.S. City average. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you live anywhere outside of a big city, I want to make sure I got this right. Hold on. I'm pretty sure when they're calculating this, they use 75 urban areas. But it's like surrounding 3 major cities. From 6,000 housing units. 0.3% seasonally adjusted base gasoline index. So technically, if you live like away from a major city, your inflation could be off the fucking rails, and no one would really know or be tracking that. Right, so rural areas are not covered in that. Now, typically they follow the trends, and it's actually cheaper in rural areas. But there's a chance that you could be an outlier, and your shit could be off the fucking rails, and no one's tracking it. I'm sure somebody figured it out eventually, but how long? How long would that take? In rural areas, it's typically slightly cheaper, but it's mostly like housing and shit. Our egg prices are the same. Our gas prices are the fucking are different, depending on where you look at. But our egg prices are the same. Our bread prices are the same. Our milk prices are the same. Where was that video from that I just watched the other day? Give me just a second. There's been a new investigation into, what do they call it? Dynamic price increases. What do they call it, chat, when the store basically knows who you are when you enter the store and how much you're willing to pay for something, so they raise the prices in real time? Sorry, I'll find it. Give me a second. Like, they even have digital tags now on the shelf. So, like, they know, they're basically trying to figure out what's the maximum you'll pay for something without walking by it. And they want to maximize every fucking penny, because when you're talking about a place that has fucking thousands of stores across no, it's not called facial recognition. When you have thousands of stores across the entire world, or the U.S., and they're making pennies on every customer, that's a lot of fucking money. I just watched a video on it, I want to say a couple days ago. A more perfect union. I got it. Yeah, it has a name. Like, obviously, facial recognition is how you recognize someone by their face. But there's a name for dynamically changing prices for each customer based on what you think they'll pay.
The holy grail for a long time has been, what if we could charge every single person the maximum amount that we know they're able to or willing to pay?
They know things about us that we don't know. They're smarter than us, and we're training them in a way that is
It's not that they're smarter, it's that they're tracking everything to build a profile, right?
Walk into any grocery store, and on average...
By the way, I can't afford my food, so make sure you share the link and donate to the show. If you want the show to keep going, you can do it at one of the links down below.
Everything is about 30% more expensive than it was in 2020.
Inflation, supply chains, tariffs.
We've heard it all. But what if something else is happening? Something intentional? What if someone is charged $2 for these eggs, but another person is charged...
It's even worse. Listen, I don't know if you guys do this. I don't, because I live in bumfuck, and we don't really even have this service very much. It's worse if you're using Instacart, okay? Your Instacart gets access to all your apps and shit. They know how much money you make. They know where the fuck you work. They know how much money's in your bank account. And a lot of times, Instacart is setting the prices for individual shoppers differently. It's not what's in the store. And maybe it's just 20 cents here and 30 cents there and a fee here and a fee there or whatever, but it doesn't matter. They're doing that to you to make more money.
$2.40 at the same exact store, and it's pushing prices up. 5 months ago, a researcher reached out to me about Instacart. She'd been studying their Washington, D.C. workforce. Different pay for nearly identical work. Her question, if they do this to workers...
So basically, Instacart, they noticed this in their workers. They were finding some people that would work for fucking, minimum wage, and then other people it took at least $12 an hour to get them to work or whatever. And they were paying people wildly different wages, but they were trying to zero in on what's the least amount you'll work for, basically.
What about consumers? Before joining More Perfect Union, I worked in grocery pricing, so I agreed to help investigate. The problem? It wasn't easy to test. Grocery prices change all the time, for legitimate reasons. Receipts you can't compare. We If we wanted to do this, we'd need a team, a researcher, community organizers, other journalists, and most importantly, regular people who care.
They brought everybody into this house, gave them the exact items to order, and have them deliver all to the same address. And they got different prices. They varied wildly.
Lots of them. 5 months of digging. What we found is bigger than Instacart. Yes, inflation is real, but something else has been pushing prices higher this whole time. There's a system, one that grocery stores and tech companies built together. It learns from every purchase.
It's not just online. It's in the physical stores you walk into, with the primary goal, maximize profit.
Day by day, it's moving billions of dollars, one penny at a time.
Here's how we uncover.
Just think of how many people sign up for value cards. And back during the day, you know, it didn't have that much data linked to it, and they weren't cataloging it all. But now the most valuable information about you, the most valuable thing they could get from you is your data. Okay? When do you buy this? When do you buy more of that? They know when your fucking period is. They know every fucking thing about you. They know your schedule, when you're coming and going, when you're in a hurry, when you'll grab something and not really price shop because you're in a hurry, right? You just grab the first one you can see, and maybe that one's right up front and the more expensive one, right? Or when you have to have this no matter what. I don't know. It's insane.
How it's turning the grocery business into a gold mine. Why? Without regulation, your grocery bill may keep climbing no matter what happens with inflation.
Oh, yeah. Border Collies told me he was going to change his username to Boat Nets Are the Best. Or some shit like that.
I'm now going to ask you to take out your phone, and we're going to get started with shopping for 20 items at the Safeway.
This is Katie Wells. She's the director of research at Groundwork Collaborative. She's the one who reached out. The plan was pretty simple. Get everyone in a room, open up Instacart, select the same store, same items, on phones and
like, it's not like some of them got the cheap version or the wrong version. They had all this filled out. They filled it out by hand. They saved their carts. They looked for any discounts available that weren't for other people. They had the SKUs out. Like, they had everything.
Computers. Select pickup to remove any delivery calculations. And write our basket totals down on a note card. All to test a simple question. Were shoppers being charged different amounts for the same exact item at the same exact store and time?
Congratulations, guys. You have finished the test.
First, we all shared our cart totals.
We're in the same room, the same address ordering, and we still had different prices.
You're the highest.
I'm not surprised. What I've come to understand is that a lot of things that we do online is predicated on algorithms.
Different totals. There's plausible explanations, promotions, user error, app issues. But if the items themselves had different prices, that's something else.
The items had upwards of 3 different prices offered.
Katie,
like $5.99, $6.39, $6.69. Why? Why would this even be an option? Instacart, to you, they sell themselves as a convenience, okay? To their investors, they sell themselves as, we can get every fucking extra penny off the people that use our service. We learn so much about them. We know that they'll pay $6.75 but wouldn't pay $6.79. So we can get every fucking dime off these idiots. That's literally, well, I'm paraphrasing. That's in their pitch. We know everything about you. We can get every dime available off these people. That's why you invest with us.
Katie analyzed the data.
The greatest difference was about a 70-cent spread. For eggs, the prices varied from $4.59 to $4.69 down to $4.28. It was a 41-cent span.
One store, one moment in time. It's a small sample size. This could be a fluke.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You have found your way to the Consumer Reports grocery pricing webinar.
The problem with testing any of this is that these systems are so massive that you need scale to even try. Consumer Reports, join the collaboration.
And every company vehemently denies doing any price fixing whatsoever because it's in a legally gray area. They cannot do it based on like race and shit like that, but that's really no one's taking this to court, right? When someone shows up in court and says they are using my data against me and charging me more and I'm fucking paying through my teeth while this other person is getting paid, we're getting the exact same items at the same time, no one's taking this to court. So everybody's like, we don't do that. We don't do that. No, we would never do that. We don't do that. We don't do that. But I think they are.
They brought a volunteer network, community organizers, a reporter. Alongside them, we recruited volunteers, over 400 people. Same process.
One of the only good things I'll say about Amazon, besides, their delivery's fucking awesome, even though it means they're treating their delivery drivers like shit, is their price tracking. I do like that. where you can look back and see the price of something. I wish you could do that on other websites. Like I know there are plugins and shit and stuff like that, apps for it, but I wish it was built into all the websites. Especially when they tell you something's on sale and they just marked it up to put it on sale.
Everyone opens Instacart. Same store, same items. When pickup wasn't available, same delivery address, same moment. Screenshot everything. Submit. The team verified every entry, cross-checked every screenshot, built the database. Katie crunched the data. And when the data came back, I gotta be honest, I stared at it for a while because what we found was weird. I'm gonna show you some basket totals. Some people were charged about $114 for the 20 items. Others,
114 to 122. 123.
Really 124.
This wasn't in one or two cases. This was the lion's share of shoppers for the lion's share of items.
If you zoom in, nearly 3 out of 4 products had different prices during the experiments. 4 different prices for wheat thins. 5 different...
By the way, the Quartering did a video on this, but his is Target is using race-based pricing.
Prices for eggs. 3 prices for peanut butter.
Like they give a fuck about your race, dude. You're a dollar sign to these corporations. Like they give a fuck about your race. Obviously they don't. They just want the money.
Wait, what? The system sorted people into price groups, where each person was charged the same for every item. For this test, there were 4 price groups. Same cart, same store, same moment.
And they can catalog this. It wasn't like everybody got a different price. They sorted you into one of 4 buckets based on how much they thought you would spend.
Same with this test. For this store, 7 different price groups. This didn't seem random. But who or what was doing the sorting? Back in August, before we even ran the test, I called Instacart. We don't set prices, retailers do.
Retailers set the item prices on the Instacart marketplace. Now remember this. Retailers set the prices. That's their claim.
And we believe them, but the group suggested something deeper was going on. Why would an algorithm sort people into buckets where everyone pays the exact same prices? Not just on one item, but across multiple products. All higher together, all lower together. I started researching, and that's when I stumbled on surveillance pricing. Companies tracking your behavior, your purchase history, and charging you based on that. It's a type of algorithmic pricing where companies hand pricing over to an algorithm.
It's almost impossible for people outside the companies practicing the dark art of algorithm price determination exactly what is driving those algorithms.
Maybe that's what I was looking for. Algorithmic pricing.
To set the prices that we observe.
Len Sherman studies this at Columbia's Business School. Was that what was happening here? When we showed Instacart the test results, they were clear. Retailers control all pricing. The findings...
Again, each retail partner sets its own pricing and strategy.
We're just stores putting out random feelers to see where the pricing sweet spot is. They aren't targeting you specifically. So we verified with the stores we tested. First, Albertsons Safeway. They're an Instacart partner. Silence. Then we contacted Target.
Even real-time pricing is weird though. Like if that's going to be like, well, we just do real-time pricing because supplies go up, demand goes up. That doesn't make sense. In the same way it doesn't make sense with gasoline, and they do it with gasoline. When I buy 100,000 gallons of gasoline, I paid a price for it, right? I paid $3 a gallon. Just because the market goes up to $3.50 a gallon, I still have this 100,000 gallons I'm selling at the same price I bought it for. It should come in, the pricing should change with the shipments. So if I buy chips for $1 a bag, and I see the next time I buy chips, they're going to be $1.50 a bag, that still doesn't affect me until the next fucking shipment comes in. So they're fucking you on both ends, okay? So when I buy 100,000 gallons of gas at $3 a gallon, okay, I bought 100,000 gallons of gas at $3 a gallon. If it goes up to $3.50, I bump the fucking price up immediately. If it drops down to $2.50, I don't drop that price for 3 weeks when I buy more gas.
They responded, and honestly, my jaw dropped. They told us, we don't work with Instacart. We don't set prices.
What? Target responded, we don't work with Instacart. We don't set prices. We haven't had a business relationship. But Instacart just told this reporter, a retailer set all our prices. And Target's like, we don't even fucking talk to Instacart. They're doing their own thing. They send their shoppers in. We have no partnership with them at all. There's no agreement.
We have nothing to do with any of this. Wait, Instacart says retailers control the prices, and Target says they don't even work with Instacart? I started digging. Turns out, in 2017, Target spent over $500 million to buy Shipt, Instacart's competitor. Why would they help Instacart? We asked Instacart about Target's response. Instacart admitted they actually do manage Target's prices on the marketplace.
Oh, we use publicly available price information as a starting point for online price of products available for purchase via Instacart. Crazy. Earlier, when we emailed you, you said retailers set all our prices.
And that they were running tests to figure out how much they can charge on top of Target's normal.
At the time of your investigation, we were evaluating different amounts to offset our operating and technology costs. Those tests have now ended. Weird.
Their explanation shifted, but the question we started with was still the same. How does the system sort people into different price groups? To figure that out, we needed to understand what Instacart actually does. You may think of Instacart as a delivery app, but it's much bigger than that.
With Instacart is more the
I think there's a big scam in propping up and setting and fucking with your gas price on these gas buddy finder, gas friend, gas thing, right? Because if someone comes specifically to you because you're 3 cents cheaper on their app and they drive all the way to your fucking store and maybe it's out of their normal way, and then they come to find there and like, oh, well, actually, it wasn't 3 cents cheaper. You know, it was the same price everywhere else. They're already there. They're buying it.
technology. I don't think of it as a grocery delivery company. I think of it more of a technology company.
Selling technology that
not a grocery delivery company. We're a technology company. And what is the product of technology companies? What do they extract from you that gives them their value? Your information, your data. They're not a grocery delivery company. They're an information, a technology company, and they get your data.
But it's much bigger than that.
With Instacart is more the technology. I don't think of it as a grocery delivery company. I think of it more of a technology company.
Selling technology that powers grocery websites, advertising campaigns, promotions. In 2022, Instacart bought Eversight, a company that optimizes grocery prices.
Eversight says it runs
They make some money. They don't. It's not their major money. We own 2 gas stations. You make some money on gas.
constant experiments that are not made visible to consumers, and it is running tests in part to collect data about how much I'm willing to pay for canola oil, and it's using that information to
put you in a bucket. How much are you willing to pay?
Create more profits for these companies.
The company calls it AI for everyday price performance. The website promises 2 to 5% profit increases. In early November, Consumer Reports ran follow-up experiments at Costco. They found price gaps, 15% on a bag of chips. Derek asked Costco to explain.
We got an email a few hours later from a Costco vice president of grocery.
The message described a program called Smart Rounding.
It took us a little bit of time to realize what we were seeing, which was an internal communication between Instacart and Costco. Inadvertently, this Costco executive forwarded us.
Per our contract, members receive better pricing than non-members on Marketplace, and same-day members receive better pricing than Marketplace. Upon reviewing the pricing activity of the last few months, an experiment was conducted with non-members outside CASC where smart rounding of item prices were enabled. This smart rounding did not impede the principle of ensuring all members receive better pricing than non-members. So they accidentally sent an internal email to these people. Accidentally. Right? And in this accidental email, it says we're fucking with the prices.
This internal email.
As far as we can tell, Instacart has only talked about smart rounding once in a 2023 letter to shareholders. The company defined it.
See, they pitched themselves to you as a convenience and pitched themselves to shareholders as being able to take all your money.
Machine learning driven tool that helps retailers improve price perception and drive incremental sales. Translation: flex prices up or down based on what the algorithm says will maximize profit.
For some of our major grocery partners, this has led to millions of dollars in annual.
Imagine you're earning, let's just say it's 10 fucking cents across someone's grocery cart per person, per store, per day. Everybody's going to be doing this.
Incremental sales.
Millions of dollars.
This is a very sophisticated, very deliberate, explicit attempt to maximize profits and do so somewhat surreptitiously.
We'd answered some questions. Different prices for different people. Yes. Random testing? Maybe not. Smart rounding showed it's designed for profit. Retailers in control? Debatable. Instacart sets at least one grocer's prices. But we still couldn't answer, how does the system sort people into price groups? Then one store showed us the bigger picture. Schnucks, regional grocer. They're on every Instacart press release. No price variation at all. One night it hit me. What if they already moved past online testing? You've probably heard stories about electronic shelf labels, digital price tags that can change prices instantly. If they're testing prices in store with those labels, and the app just mirrors what's on the shelf, you'd never catch it with our test, which might explain Schnucks. The typical fear with these labels is surge pricing, raising lemonade prices when it's hot out. What if the goal isn't surge pricing at all? What if it's more subtle, more permanent? Would you rather charge $10 for a bottle of water during a single hurricane, or 20 cents more every single day? Derek had a genius idea.
Patents. He found one. It described an infrastructure for constant in-store price testing. Take dozens of stores, cluster them together, test different prices in different clusters. The purpose? Find out the most profitable price point. Once you do, adopt it. We asked Schnucks and Instacart. Both denied it. But for Instacart, their website told a different story. If you go there right now, you'd see this. 3 features. Before we asked, 4 features. And the one removed, price optimization with Eversight via.
So this used to be on their website before this investigation started. Price optimization with Eversight. Fully unlocked the potential of ESLs, instant and accurate pricing changes with dynamic price and promotion optimization strategies at the shelf. These are the labels, right? Before they started this investigation, this is on the website. After they started the investigation, they removed this from the website.
Electronic shelf labels. Gone. So Instacart denied doing it, then changed their website. Later, they told us it was never a feature and the update was made for accuracy. But that didn't track. The feature seems to show up in past marketing materials and press releases. If it's operational, the system would be a truly impressive feat of engineering. In-store, testing across locations. Online, testing across individuals. But we still couldn't answer how the online system decided who gets charged more. So we started building a theory, not based on what Instacart told us, but on what Instacart told the government. Patents. The word that appears over and over in them, it's not random. It's segmentation. Derek started reading through the criteria they could use to sort people. Some things raised red flags. Demographics. It's illegal to charge someone more based on those. Katie controlled for that. No correlation.
Age, sex, household size, household income.
In the sample.
I don't believe they would try to vary prices based on those kinds of characteristics, nor would it be very effective if they did. What would be way more effective and perfectly legal, as far as I know, is to vary prices based on behavioral characteristics.
Behavioral characteristics. That's exactly what the patents show. Buying behavior, purchase history, how frequently you shop, whether you're shopping around, coupon usage, loyalty program participation, an infrastructure that tracks everything you do, uses it to decide what to charge you. We asked Instacart, does this explain who gets sorted into different price groups?
I just want to know how to get in the lowest bucket, always, and stay there. I'm going to live in that cheapest bucket.
The response? One old patent from 2015, before we purchased Eversight. Patents are always broad. This doesn't prove we're actually using this technology. Fair point. Here's the same chart, and a host of other patents, mostly about promotions. Marketing material that touts the patents. And then this one, a promotional patent that describes shopper and product headroom, meaning how much more money could this person spend overall?
This is in a patent application and promotional documents. How much more could this shopper spend overall? How much more could this shopper spend on this specific product?
And how much more could they spend on this product? The patent says they can calculate this for every individual consumer. But for efficiency, typically people are grouped with similar consumers. Groups. Just like our test showed.
Every company that I know is practicing first-degree price discrimination strenuously denies that they're doing so.
And again, Instacart denies segmenting people by personal or behavioral data. What happens when companies actually do this at scale? In 2022, Uber rolled out algorithmic pricing for riders and drivers. Len studied what happened next.
For the next
it was bad.
Average rider price per mile went up.
Uber denies all of this. But at about this time, they went from burning money to a cash machine.
That's why more and more companies are trying as hard as they can to perfect this dark art. Devilishly effective dark art, as I've called it. That's how you turn grocery sales into a gold mine.
Now, algorithmic pricing sometimes offers lower prices, and the total impact on grocery prices, impossible to measure. Instacart is just...
I mean, I don't know, man. It seems like fucking groceries should be one of the regulated things. Like, everybody needs groceries, right?
One company, a sliver of the grocery market. They claim 10 clients with Eversight. What are other companies doing? I started looking.
Pricing is the single most powerful lever to raise profits, far more effective than either boosting sales or cutting costs.
Prices optimized. Profit increases.
There's an entire industry built around optimizing grocery prices. I called Earl Schweizer, 25 years in grocery, former VP of grocery at Whole Foods. Why is everyone racing to adopt this?
It's very much defensive. Amazon's already doing it. Walmart is doing it. So everybody's got to keep up.
Merchants, pricing teams, they all rely on technology and algorithms to safeguard their profits.
That's Walmart's former VP of pricing.
So Instacart has played...
And again, they have no loyalty to you. Their only responsibility are to their stockholders.
It's a really vital role for the competitors of Amazon and Walmart, which is pretty much almost everybody else. To
have to go shopping with a fucking jammer. When the Rhino devices we used in Iraq.
who have a lot of the same tools and access to consumers as the big guys.
The systems are watching you, learning your patterns, using that to charge everyone accordingly.
They know things about us that we don't know. They're smarter than us, and we're training them in a way that is incalculable.
This didn't happen overnight. 20 years of building this infrastructure. It was kept in check by inertia. Everyone was afraid to raise prices. COVID changed that.
There's no guardrails. It's a free-for-all. It's wild, wild west.
Companies are investing millions into systems designed to outsmart you. Testing, learning, finding.
COVID really did fuck everything.
Maximum profit.
The holy grail for a long time has been, what if we could charge every single person the maximum amount that we know they're able to or willing to pay? Studies like this are just validating that firms are very much already midway through trying this.
They won't let me into the adult lubrication aisle without an ID.
Executing it.
That's Lena Khan, former chair of the Federal Trade Commission. She agreed to review our findings with an eye to how we should protect consumers.
This could ultimately end up being another big form of wealth transfer from ordinary Americans to massive corporations.
I asked about the in-store testing apparatus, electronic shelf labels, the patents.
Firms have been trying to figure that out for many decades, but I think what's different now is both the sophistication of the tools that are available, just the deep information asymmetries that exist between consumers and these firms that are benefiting.
But there was something else that concerned her.
When you have companies like Instacart that could be facilitating, it could also ultimately allow firms that really should be competing against one another when setting these prices to actually engage more in something that looks like price fixing or collusion.
Because it could mean that one company, Instacart, is setting prices for retailers who should be competing with each other. Then I asked her about regulation. Her answer surprised me.
I think we need to have a much more first-order conversation about, do we even want to permit some of these tactics in the first instance?
Under Khan's watch, the FTC started an investigation into surveillance pricing.
This week, it launched an investigation, the FTC, into the use of AI to rapidly change pricing.
That investigation is now in question. The Trump administration claims it is ongoing, but Khan's replacement stopped public comments. But Lena pointed out that states don't need to wait for the Trump administration.
The steps we've seen, even from states like California and New York, to ban certain types of algorithmic price fixing in areas like housing and rent, for example, I think are extraordinarily important steps. We need more investigations. So I think we need a 360 view to try to understand what's really happening here.
5 months, 3 organizations, 400 volunteers. We know the system exists for surveillance pricing, but we don't know if it's operational because we can't see inside. And that's intentional. It's a system that's designed to stay hidden.
This work that you all have done is fantastic, but the state...
And yeah, the average person would never know that they're doing this.
AGs have subpoena power. They can be requesting and demanding information so they could look under the hood and be understanding how far firms actually using this data.
If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe. And if you have ideas for future content, please put them in the comments.
Shit's fucking crazy, dude. Making millions more doing this shit. Insider report from the Department of Defense. We kind of knew this was coming, though.
We're learning there was no Pentagon investigation into Pete Hegseth's signal use.
Imagine that.
Because he never authorized one. Sources familiar with the matter say a damage assessment would typically be initiated after the disclosure of sensitive information, particularly in a case as public as this one. But the Secretary of Defense never called for an investigation or an internal review and has no plans to. Now, that's even with just days ago an Inspector General report finding that Hegseth could have endangered American lives by disclosing sensitive military attack plans via signal and using his personal phone. A separate Pentagon investigation would have examined how that information was transmitted, why it was classified at the level it was, and what damage it could have caused if it was released publicly. Instead, after the signal messages came to light, Hegseth focused on formally investigating suspected leakers on his own staff, even threatening to polygraph defense officials.
So he had nothing to do with, he didn't investigate any of the signal stuff. Instead, he investigated his own staff.
He believed were involved in talking to reporters about the incident. Now, Hegseth has also mischaracterized the findings of that Inspector General report, claiming it totally exonerated him, when in fact it didn't. We're learning there was no Pentagon investigation into signal use.
He didn't investigate himself? That's crazy. And all these pardons.
Look, you just can't make this stuff up. This is Alice Marie Johnson, okay? Okay. Alice Marie Johnson was one of the nation's largest drug traffickers. Yeah, she was the leader of a ring out of Memphis, Tennessee.
Why does Trump keep pardoning drug traffickers? Maybe because his lead person on the pardons is a convicted drug trafficker.
They moved thousands of kilos of coke a week. This gets better. This gets better. And of course, she had ties to drug cartels, you know, Mexican drug cartels, Honduran drug cartels. Yeah. Anyway, she was pardoned. She was serving a life sentence without parole. and she was pardoned by the Trump administration. And now she's a part of the administration. She's the pardon czar. Yes, this former life sentence without parole convicted drug trafficker is our pardon czar. Of course, one of her first acts was to help get the Chrisleys pardoned, of course. But then Larry Hoover. You probably don't know who Larry Hoover is.
Uh-oh. Gangster disciples, right?
Hoover was serving multiple life sentences for his drug trafficking. He was the kingpin for the gangster disciples of Chicago. Now, Trump commuted his sentence, but he couldn't get him out of prison because he still has to serve like 200 more years for all the murders he's committed on a state level that Trump couldn't get him out of.
Do you guys think that Trump will send the military in over that crazy bitch in Colorado? Tina Peters?
Of course, Donald Trump said he was told that very fine people told him that this Honduran drug lord was a good person. So good that he's already got warrants out for his arrest since his pardon. If you're wondering why the president keeps pardoning drug lords, it's because his pardon czar literally was one. Thanks.
Literally the drug lord. Kind of weird, huh? Or Miss Global's been doing like that.
Our LNG exports have went up 40% in the last year alone, and a whole lot of it has to do with Donald Trump.
That's not good. LNG exports, there's a limited amount of LNG we're getting out. When we export too much LNG, which is why Biden started restricting on the amount of LNG that could be exported, your power bills go up.
And these,
no matter whether you use nuclear or coal oil or whatever, it doesn't matter. Your power bill goes up.
That he put on these other countries.
Yeah, that's not a thing. That is not how that works at all. Before you can even think about building an LNG export facility, you have to have 25-year SPAs in place. Those are purchase agreements. Every drop of gas that comes out of an LNG export terminal, once it's completed, has already been sold years before the construction of the facility even started. That's literally the only way you can get anyone to invest in it, whether it's banks, private investors, private equity, anybody. You're not going to get a dollar from anybody until you have those contracts that are secured. You see, Donald Trump went and told you that he was
the overwhelming majority did
over there to make these LNG deals because he knew you would believe it. But what Donald Trump knew that you don't know is that LNG's already been sold. It was sold years ago. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Now, with all that being said, he did lose us some LNG exports when he started the trade war with China because they cut us off completely. Yeah. Thanks. Well, the pathological liar is posting again, and since this is the internet, I should clarify.
Drill, baby, drill.
Trump, this isn't about, someone else. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Bob. Why is he saying the national average is 279? Like, here's the thing that I don't understand. The national average is 293. It's the lowest it's been in a few years. That's a win, even though, he didn't do it. That's still a win. It's credit he could take, but instead he chooses to lie. So now the whole story is going to be about the lie instead of the win. Like, it's the dumbest thing ever. And I tried really hard to find this national average. I even looked on Epstein Island.
It's because it's too cheap and trending down. When he goes and pressures OPEC to release more barrels, that fucks our domestic oil suppliers. They're closing rigs.
It's not 279 there either. I just figured that's maybe the last time he saw the price of gas was when he was there, but I guess not. I'm beginning to wonder if he would even tell the truth to get into heaven. He's been talking about getting into heaven a lot lately, but you can't lie to Jesus. And he's watching, right? Like, he's watching right now. And why would you want to go there anyway? Like, none of your friends are there. Well, what are you going to do in heaven? Meet a bunch of people you hate? I don't know. Whatever. Thanks. Well, the pathological liar is posting.
It's down. So U.S. oil rig count is down from 485 when Trump took office to 414. To 414. If we're doing that good, something's wrong.
Again, and
if you think socialism is such
we can only keep up at a certain price point.
a great idea, ask yourself one simple question. When the Berlin Wall fell, who ran to which side?
Okay, but if capitalism is so great, why do we have to keep installing socialist programs to keep our poverty level down? You see, since when our poverty level was well over 20%, that's what we've been doing. We've been enacting more and more socialist-type programs to reduce that poverty level.
Obviously, the answer is something in between.
Still have the highest poverty level among
super strong social safety nets. We shouldn't be the wealthiest country in the world to have people starving. I don't give a damn if they don't want to work.
26 most developed nations in the world, even though capitalism is just the greatest thing ever, and we're supposed to be the richest country in the world. You see, your problem isn't necessarily with socialism, and your flex isn't really that you think capitalism is great. The thing is, neither one of those economic systems work when you elect very wealthy people to control them. Capitalism does not work when you give the power to the rich. Socialism does not work when you give the power to the rich. So if you truly love capitalism, as you say you do, you would stop electing millionaires and billionaires to office. But that's not going to happen, is it? No. Thanks.
If you think socialism is such
For example, if you're a McDonald's worker and you can be replaced in 2 minutes by just going out on the street and finding somebody else, you should not be paid $15, $20 an hour. That's crazy.
Well, that's because you place zero value on the single most valuable thing someone can give you that is worth more every single day of their life, and that is time. You place no value on time. A McDonald's worker isn't delivering you the extraordinary skill of pushing buttons on a screen. They're delivering you their time. A time that is even more expensive because you have to pay them to be in a McDonald's. Now, I want you to know, as long as you think of business as just ones and zeros, and you think of people in that same context, you're always going to fail. Always. You see, the most successful business owners view their businesses as people and the people within them as the business. And when a business owner learns how to truly value people... And
by the way, there was a shooting at Brown University today, and Trump told everybody that the shooter had been captured, the FBI was on the scene, and that everybody was safe. So people started going back out, and the university panicked and said, no, the shooter's not captured. Please shelter in place. And then the shooter went on to another place and started shooting other people. So
time. The business takes care of itself. The money just shows up because the people produce it for you. Thanks.
For example, if you're a McDonald's worker and you can be replaced in 2 minutes.
How fucking crazy is that? Trump told people to leave, and then there was more shootings. What the fuck?
We're interrupting regular programming with an update on the mass shooting at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. A massive manhunt is underway at this hour for an active shooter. Authorities describe the suspect as a man dressed all in black. According to the latest update from officials, 2 people have died and 8 others have been wounded, all of them now in critical but stable condition. There's a massive police presence on the Brown campus, federal, state, and local authorities all searching for that shooter. Faculty and students are being told to continue to shelter in place. Brown sending several emergency alerts. People on campus instructed to lock doors, silence their phones, and remain hidden. Officials say the first reports of an active shooter came in around 4 this afternoon at the engineering building where a final exam was underway. The school's winter break begins 1 week from today. And just moments ago, Vice President Vance called the shooting terrible news, and President Trump spoke to reporters.
I've been fully briefed on the Brown University situation, what a terrible thing it is. And all we can do right now is pray for the victims and for those that were very badly hurt, it looks like. And we'll inform you later as to what's happening, but it's a shame. It's a shame. Just pray. Thank you very much.
Let's get straight to ABC's DOJ, Homeland Security, and law enforcement reporter Luke Barr. Luke, what can you tell us about who law enforcement is looking for at this hour?
Yeah, Andrew. So law enforcement is looking for a man who is dressed in black, who entered the building just around 4 o'clock and opened fire. Now, there is very few details about what or who this person is, but certainly a large manhunt underway with federal, state.
It's crazy that they want to. They hide everything about everything and like Trump's health, and they're like, oh, he shakes hands too much. That's why he's all fucking bruised up. But then something like this, they've got to be the breaking, they captured, we already did it, we got him. Kash Patel's fucked this up 2 or 3 times.
Local authorities all around the east side of Providence looking for this suspect, Andrew.
Luke, as we've seen in some of these videos right here on our screen, there's an overwhelming law enforcement presence at Brown. How
And again, it's the same thing that happened at the Charlie Kirk shooting. When Kirk got kirked, they just had somebody they were questioning.
It is this, given that the campus sort of merges into the city of Providence.
Yeah, it is an absolutely large campus. It's a city campus. It's a campus that has one main quad, but buildings all over the east side, intertwined with neighborhoods, restaurants, and 2 main sort of thoroughfares, Hope Street, where this shooting took place. So it's a complicated, large, and almost a chaotic scene up there in Providence, Andrew.
Earlier at the press conference, Luke, authorities said that they were hopeful to look through surveillance video, work with the FBI and federal officials to get a picture out of this suspect. How likely is that, and how will the public help authorities in searching for this shooter who still remains at large?
Yeah, Andrew, they're going through the video now, and it could be, as soon as tonight, but could go into tomorrow. It just depends on how quickly they want to get this image out. Of course, you heard at the press conference earlier today that they will try and put something out. Unclear when that is, but it's certainly they feel it's a tool to help catch whomever might have done this. Andrew.
All right, Luke Barr, thank you for that update. Meanwhile, students on campus were watching in horror as events played out. One telling the Associated Press that he sat in his dorm shaking as he watched officers in tactical gear surround the building. He said he feared for a friend who was inside the engineering building where the shooting took place. Brown University just moments ago sending a letter to the community calling this a deeply tragic day and urging...
Did you hear anything, see anything? No.
Terrifying, dude.
News.
Just, I guess, feeling really bad for everyone that had to be involved. I was with a few of my friends, so we were kind of keeping each other together.
It's so
Remember when David Hogg came up after his school shooting and Marjorie Taylor Greene called him a pussy on Twitter?
Scary, and honestly, this is a really hard time, and this just shows exactly why gun violence is such a problem in the United States.
Breaking right now on Eyewitness News here at 8:30. College students shaken after gunfire erupts on the campus of Brown University in Rhode Island. There is now a manhunt underway for the gunman who killed 2 people and injured 9 others. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. You're watching Eyewitness News at 8 live on ABC.
I think she called him a liberal pussy. I can't remember. It was something like that.
And Hulu and wherever you stream. I'm Liz Nagy.
And I'm Josh Haskell in for Jory Rand.
We want to get right now to that breaking news. Just released video of a person of interest in this mass shooting. The video shows the person leaving a building on Brown University campus in Providence, Rhode Island. Right now, police are going door to door looking for that person or someone who may know who it is or where they are. Investigators and school officials are asking everyone on campus and in that immediate surrounding area to stay inside. Tonight, 2 people are dead and at least 9 others hurt in the shooting. Investigators say 7 of those wounded have had critical injuries. We're learning the shooting happened in a classroom where a study group was taking place. Here's ABC's Johnny Fernandez with the latest.
Just 12 days before Christmas, a deadly shooting at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. Authorities say it took place at a building that houses the School of Engineering and...
She followed him around at the Capitol, calling him a coward while he was trying to do a press conference.
Department during the second day of final exams.
I can confirm that there are 2 individuals who have died this afternoon.
Students visibly shaken.
When it first started happening, yeah, there were definitely a lot of people like running that way, like scrambling.
Actually, I was working in my lab. There were 3 other students with me. We decided to turn the light off and close all the doors and hide under our desks.
Law enforcement converging on the scene. An alert going out to faculty and students, urging them to lock doors, silence their phones, and stay hidden until further notice.
Immediately, the active shooter protocol goes into effect. All multi-agencies respond and lock down the area.
So we have a special response team, and hopefully it never happens in our town. But because we have extra personnel around our little town because of the nuclear fuel production facility, they're part of a response team, and they've got incredibly good response times.
Immediately, they put a grid around the area, and they do an immediate entry into this engineering hall.
In a letter to students, the president of the university calling it a deeply tragic day and urging the community to remain vigilant. President Trump offering prayers for the victims and their families.
Oh, they also said that the guy they arrested as the DC bomber doesn't have the mental capacity to live on his own or make life decisions on his own and could easily be coerced. Thomas Massey's the one putting all that out from an FBI whistleblower, saying this guy that could get him to agree to anything.
What we do right now is pray for the victims and for those that were very badly hurt, it looks like.
Authorities say a suspect dressed in black remains at large. They added, this is the first shooting in the school's history. Johnny Fernandez, ABC News.
I actually was working in my lab, and I received a text message about a shooting nearby that was 1 block away from where I was, and yeah, and then there were 3 other students with me. We decided to turn the light off and close all the doors and hide under our desks and wait for the next notification after the shooting.
How long did you hide for?
I think it was about 2 hours or so.
You were under those desks for 2 hours?
Yeah. I actually was working in my lab, and
I thought there was oh, here it is. There's a video floating around of the guy. Allegedly. Oh, no, this says from the police department, so this might be... At first, it was just floating around with... No one really knew if it was real or not, but this says Providence Police Department. Damn, he walked away casual as fuck. This must be post-shooting, I guess.
I need to give you guys the latest update on the shooting at Brown University. Authorities confirmed that 2 people are dead. Both of them are students. The number of injured has been updated from 8 to 9. 8 of those injured are confirmed students, and the 9th person with injuries has not yet been confirmed to be a student, but likely is. Officials are stressing that these numbers could still change as the investigation continues. We know that the shooting happened inside a first-floor classroom at the Barris and Holly Engineering Building during finals. There is no suspect in custody. Early reports saying otherwise were incorrect and have been walked back. Now, here's something that is absolutely brand new.
I knew people that worked at the schools, and when they did these active shooter drills, even they were like super impressed. All the people that need to be able to get in the building can. They have passphrases they use to make sure that they're all on the same team, and those change randomly. Well, not randomly. Those change as time progresses. They have a really good system set up at our kids' school. Hopefully, they never fucking need it. But apparently, they have a really good system set up.
Police say that the gunman calmly walked away from the scene. Surveillance shows him walking onto Hope Street dressed in all dark clothing, possibly wearing a hood or a face covering that obscured his face. He then turned right onto Waterman Street and fled on foot. Witnesses say that he may have been wearing a gray camo-style face mask. A handgun was used. The weapon has not yet been recovered, and I have not seen where that footage has been released to the public yet, but once it is, I will post it here so you guys can all share it out. And here's the part that really hit me out of everything I've seen. A Brown University sophomore...
It's, the word I was looking for was challenge and password. So they have a challenge and password system set up that, like, so let's say the guy's dressed in all black tactical gear, and we don't know if he's a police officer or from this Department of Energy group or whatever, you know, and he's got an AR and a helmet, and he looks, so they have a challenge and password that they all have to be updated on, and they all know it at all times, that kind of deal. So
this is the second school shooting she survived. She also survived the Parkland massacre in 2018, and she said she feels like she's 12 again, and she's not alone, because we've now seen this with students from Oxford, Michigan, who later had to survive the shooting at Michigan State. We are raising a generation of kids who are surviving multiple mass shootings, and I want you to think about that. Do you guys know that preschoolers do active shooter drills? Some are given lollipops so that it helps them to stay quiet. Let that sink in. When I was a junior, Columbine happened on
that's terrifying, dude.
20th, 1999, and I've watched this only get worse every.
I keep thinking about the what was the guy's name, Adam Lanza or whatever, the one that, like, it was just piles of fucking bodies of goddamn kindergartners and first graders and shit. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
And I wish I believed that something would finally change, but I don't. In fact, I know it won't. We'll hear the same words, perform the same outrage, have the same arguments in the comment section, and move on until the next one, because there will absolutely be a next one. And we are the only country in the world who has this issue.
It's not impenetrable. We used them in the military too. It was called we didn't call it challenge and password. We call it sign and countersign. So maybe you like say halt who goes there, but then there's like a phrase that friendlies automatically get in. It's not impenetrable. Somebody could get that spreadsheet or whatever they use and see what their rotation is and what word they're supposed. So it's not impenetrable, but it's a lot better than, well, that guy looks like a cop, right? We can't shoot that guy or stop that guy or whatever.
Anyways, I will continue updating as confirmed information comes in. Make sure to follow if you want to stay updated. I need to give you guys the latest update.
God, I don't want to end on a school shooting. So let's do something. Here we go. The Vanguard.
Is there a difference, Erica, between forgiving someone in a religious and spiritual sense, but also wanting justice for them here on earth?
No, of course. But we serve a just God.
God damn, she's crazy, dude.
And knowing that.
She's crazy as fuck.
But he's just. And so let the Lord.
I feel like she's raping me with her eyelids.
Handle that.
Bro, this lady's eyes are insane.
Right?
Bro, and it's so strange because it does, you know, we've trolled Emily Jasinski, but this does make me wonder about witchcraft. You know, this does make me wonder, maybe Erica Kirk had a side hustle on Etsy. You know, I don't know, after looking at those eyes, right? Because we've talked about this a lot. My instinct, I swear to God, Scout's honor, right? My instinct was to come out here and be like, fuck, way back when it happened, but fuck Candace Owens for implying anything about this guy's wife. Like, it's his wife. Like, come on, bro. It's his wife. He just got killed. I don't have anything nice to say about him, but like, you know, maybe we leave his wife and children out of this for a couple of months and we don't speculate. But then this...
It's weird. Like TPUSA has always been like a wrapped around like a faith-based organization, but she's taken it up a couple of notches, a couple of dials. She's on a new dial.
Lady made it so fucking weird and obvious that she didn't give a shit about her husband's death. There was no bereavement. There was no, okay, we've, you know, honored him. Now I'm going to take a step back and go spend time with my kids who lost a father. You know what I mean? Did he have one kid or two kids? I think he had two kids. Either way,
maybe three. I don't fucking know.
He had a family with children, and you think they would be the priority right now for a mother who just lost her husband and his mother and children that just lost their dad? And so as a human
being, a worldwide press tour to release her new book, you idiots.
I did feel an instinct to be like,
that's what everybody does when their husband's killed.
Protect the kids a little bit. They can't help it that their dad was like a white nationalist shitbag. Hopefully they grow up and are exposed to the toxicity of his ideology and are able to make their own way on this earth, right? And you know what? It's really sad if your husband gets killed. So like, you know, we'll just stay away from taking shots at Erica Kirk. But then it started to get too obvious. She started to get too in love with the camera. And now I just think it's open season. I think it's fair game to speculate however people want.
Yeah, and I mean, as soon as he died, she assumed his role as CEO of Turning Point, the leader of this organization. So I would agree. I would also agree, yeah, leave her alone if she had stayed a private citizen. But she stepped right into the spotlight, decided to join politics and make decisions that ultimately will affect everyone that lives in this country.
Oh, yeah, I saw somebody became a new member at Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you for that.
So yeah, 100% she's fair game. She's at this point just as much of a political operative as her husband was, and maybe she always has been behind the scenes, for all we fucking know. She just never got the chance to soak in this level of attention until now. But yeah, this clip is fucking crazy for a couple of reasons. For one, I do think it kind of undoes that moment where she talked about forgiveness, because here she sounds evil. She's like, and a just God will send him to hell and make him burn alive for all eternity. It's like, what the fuck? Do you want to forgive him, or do you want him to burn in hell for all of eternity? Like, which one fucking is it? This one seems very creepy to me. And again,
I like how every time they ask her a question and she answers with the word stop, that's the name of her book. It's like Stop in the Name of God or something.
What I actually thought was a nice moment at the initial funeral speech has totally been undone by the creepiness of this moment, kind of like, you know, sicking God on this guy or whatever, which I mean, again, it's fair. He did murder her husband. Yeah. But again, it's like, it just seems like a little bit of a contradicting emotional message. Do you forgive him or not?
Yeah. So when they're like, what is your message to Candace Owens? She's doing this, stop. And if you want to know why I want her to stop, you can pick up my new book at Barnes & Noble. Stop in the Name of God.
Like, which one is it? I don't know. It just seems a little bit bizarre to me. And again, ultimately, it could have been delivered in a way that felt more natural and human.
Wait a second. Did you guys see Trump and everybody in the White House in cowboy hats? I thought it was AI, dude. I thought it was fucking AI. It's 100% real.
But as I said, Erica Kirk is clearly not capable of acting natural or human. It's one of her biggest issues. She's not as well media trained as Charlie was, clearly. She clearly doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. And I think most people that watch this will agree that it seems creepy and overly performative, poorly acted, et cetera, et cetera. There's some other really good clips here. You know, Barry Weiss, who's a total fucking hack, actually does, I guess, an ounce of journalism, the most I've ever seen Barry Weiss do, which is force Erica Kirk to confront the reality of who her husband actually fucking was, a total evil, racist piece of scum. So this is pretty funny, again, just to watch Erica Kirk kind of squirm. Let's take a look here.
One of the things that has happened over the 3 months since Charlie was murdered.
Fuck these people so hard.
The thousands, maybe tens.
Right in the neck hole. What's that one guy scream? So that one dude was like, we love Charlie Kirk. And the guy's like, dig him up and fuck him in the neck hole then.
Thousands of hours of words he produced. He said more in 31 years than most people will say in a lifetime. And I want to read a few that have captured the most attention, especially on the political left, okay? Yeah. Some gun deaths were, quote, unfortunately worth it to preserve the Second Amendment, he said. Acknowledging that he wishes he didn't feel this way, he said,
he actually says that we shouldn't spend time like going over these and trying to change laws in honor of these people who die of gun deaths, because that besmirches their legacy.
I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. He said the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a mistake. Now, I realize that all of those quotes come from longer conversations that he had on his show. Correct. But he did say those things. Mm-hmm. And Charlie is being memorialized by many people as a person who promoted civil discourse.
CBS, before we finish this, CBS is trying to, like, make her image better. Like, it's so fucked, dude. Hold on. Like, they're trying to bring her mainstream. Like, it's so crazy. Fuck CBS, too.
What the fuck are you doing? A town hall with Erica Kirk. Can she help unite a fractured America?
Can she help? What? Can Erica Kirk unite a fractured America?
Saturday on CBS.
Can Erica Kirk help unite a fractured America?
Computer says no.
Computer says no. Unless she uses this town hall to denounce her terrible husband as the divisive asshole that he was.
My husband was brilliant of a man.
He sure was. He was.
My husband was brilliant of a man. No bad happened, only good happened.
Brilliant of a man. Let's hear some of that brilliance now.
Some gun deaths were, quote, unfortunately worth it to preserve the Second Amendment. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. He said the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a mistake.
Okay, Widow Kirk, spin away.
I would love for everyone to be able to watch the full and entire clip of what he said.
I agree. Context is important.
The first statement you meant about guns and shooting, I have no idea the context of that.
So you don't know the context.
There's a lot more there than just...
I wish everybody knew the full context. I don't know it, but I bet it was good.
That one little sentence.
So you do know the context. Make up your mind, woman.
Charlie didn't care what skin color you were.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't care what religion you were.
Yeah, he did. He was a fucking bigot, plain and simple. So CBS.
What do you say to those who argue it's harmful to platform a guy like Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, and even his widow?
That's a good question. A guy who Charlie Kirk would call a DEI hire. You know that old racist asshole at every neighborhood bar who just sits there night after night spewing conspiracy theories and nonsense? What do you do with that guy? You either throw him out or you just ignore him. You sure as hell don't put a microphone in front of his face. And then when he finally dies and you don't have to put up with him anymore, you certainly don't reach out to his widow and say, hey, hey, you want to come back and pick up where your dick of a husband left off? So what's the deal here, CBS?
This conversation and this whole series that we're going to be announcing in the coming days, the point is to revive
your ratings, revive the spirit.
A whole series of seeing if Eric and Kirk can reunite a fractured America.
Of Hitler, what are you doing here? Stop giving a platform to fascists. CBS, come.
Yes, it's that bad.
Of course, as a person who said, come to the front of the line, let's have a civil conversation. How do you square that with the statements I just read?
I would love for everyone to be able to watch the full and entire clip of what he said. Charlie didn't care what skin color you were. He didn't care what religion you were.
He didn't care if you died of gun violence because that's par for the course when you want a Second Amendment.
He loved excellence. He loved knowing that people, his favorite word was earn. He loved knowing that people worked hard to earn what they.
God, she's had so much media training. Like, I don't understand how she's so bad at pretending to be a human or relatable or I don't know. How is she so bad at this? Turning Point USA hosted a $10,000 a plate black tie gala at Mar-a-Lago this weekend in Charlie Kirk's name, with attendees saying, "You're about to see what Erica Kirk is capable of. She's a gift from God to our nation." She's so bad at pretending to be related. She's broken. You know what? She looks like the bride of Chucky, by the way.
What they got. He worked so hard to build Turning Point USA.
Wait, could you
the first statement.
Chad saying, would you say he loved supremacy?
Don't you think she's doing a terrible job of defending her husband here? Like, based on those damning statements you just heard, again, I feel like a more natural human, someone that actually loved this guy, could be like, you know what? Yeah, Charlie said a lot of hyperbolic stuff. That was his job, was to, go out there and get the masses worked up and be a little bit provocative sometimes. But, at the end of the day, we always agreed that human beings are human beings and we love them for who they are and, as members of this great country. Like, it's not that hard to craft a response to this question. The way she's answered it is so awkward, like, just so kind of weirdly defensive, or like, he worked so hard to build.
She was also really good at one point of being, I don't know, the pussy that comes with the champagne. Milo tagged her in this and said, "We've all come a long way." A toast to success, hosted by Erica Frenzve and Cynthia Sassy, sponsored by Fabulous Arizona. That's her on the left.
Turning Points USA. Like, that's not even relevant. What does that have to do with fucking anything? You're being asked about his racist fucking vile drivel coming out of his mouth. Who cares about the stupid organization that he pretended to build, but was actually built on the back of fucking right-wing billionaire Zionist money? So yeah, it's not even over yet, but yeah, it's just weird to see her flail so hard at like defending her husband.
He loved excellence. He loved knowing that people, his favorite word was earn. He loved knowing that people worked hard to earn what they got.
But he never earned from any job in his entire life. He was this sponsored mouthpiece from 18 years old. What the fuck does he know about earning anything?
He worked so hard to build Turning Point USA. The first statement you meant about guns and shooting, I have no idea the context of that, and I have no idea what that whole.
So you have no idea about the context. He was asked, when people bring up these shootings, these mass shootings, and then they go after the Second Amendment, how do you make those two things fit, right? How do you make them go together? And he said, I just think that if you're going to have a Second Amendment, you're going to have some of these gun deaths. That's part of it. But we don't want to let that take away from our right to keep and bear arms. No one cares.
I can tell you, Erica.
It is interesting that his favorite word is earn, and if they have him cremated, that's where he'll live forever.
The left, whenever there's a tragedy in this country, they always try and come for our guns. They always come for the Second Amendment. And, well, every gun death in this country is a tragedy. It's an unfortunate part of having the rights we do. That was, to paraphrase him more broadly, the big point that he was making, except when the...
It was a typo. It was a typo down at the bottom. They meant earn, U-R-N, earn.
The shoe's on the other foot. You want to fucking do a bunch of bitching. At least he's not here to do a bunch of bitching.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, she knows the context of that statement. It's been plastered all over the internet since literally minutes after he died. I remember we reacted to Charlie Kirk's death live on air, and people were already spamming that chat or that fucking quote in our chat. She knows what the fucking source of that is. She knows exactly what the context is. She's totally pretending to be like...
There's no justification for that. So our media people have said, well, I don't know the context of that, but I'm sure it was a bigger blah, 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 whatever.
Naive. Oh, I don't even remember. I don't even... What? First time I'm hearing that. Bull fucking shit. You're such an obvious liar.
And shooting, I have no idea the context of that, and I have no idea that whole... There's a lot more there than just that one little sentence. My husband is not to be deteriorated to two sentences. He's not. He is a thought leader, and he was brilliant of a man.
What? Brilliant of a...
So that's fine if you want to take words out of his mouth or out of context without the whole thing.
Or off his highlight reel. That's fine if you want to take the words that he felt like putting on his highlight reel that he advertised his show with and think that he somehow endorses those.
In perspective.
Yeah, the context was like right after he said that sentence, he said, not! Like in Borat, like, bro, the context actually makes all those quotes worse. We've looked at the context, unfortunately. It literally makes all of them worse. So this is such bullshit obfuscation. Again, I think it would genuinely be more, like, forgivable if she was like, yeah, that's what he fucking said. He's dead now. He can't speak for himself, but those are his words. You're damn right. That's what he said. Yeah. Instead of being like, you're taking him out of context and fucking like, I don't know if that's really what he meant. I'm not familiar with that. Like, just be honest about who your fucking husband was. We all know it. We all see it. That's why his fans were fans of him, because of that shit. That's what is this weird, like, denial.
Yeah, they also left out probably the most damning quote that I saw going around with full context, which was when he was talking about Ketanji Brown Jackson not deserving her role on the Supreme Court. And he was like, yeah, we know you stole it from some white person. And it was just like, what are you saying? You're crazy. And it is also like pathetic, but also, you know, justice being served in a sense. He's now got his wife out here pretending to be sad about his death when she's got her new man's eyeliner all over her face. She's caked it on. She's taking a lesson from her new man. It's like when you see your old girlfriend and she's with her new dude and she hits you with some of his slang, not yours. And it's like, oh, she's really just driving it in. It's like, I never say finna. Why? Oh, she never said finna either. Like, why are you saying that? Oh, that's because your new man was like everybody has their favorite slang words, right? That they throw. That's a weird one to pick. I couldn't think quick enough. You know what I'm saying, though? The eyeliner that would stink from up above.
Thought leader, bullet catcher.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's clear some JD Vance inspired, you know, makeup there. It is not that I give a single fuck about makeup, but ever since people started pointing out Mar-a-Lago face and how fucking horrible conservative women do their makeup and the facial plastic surgery, I can't unsee it. All of these MAGA chicks, I'm like, what the fuck is going on with you? You look like a demon or something. It's crazy. So yeah, and don't you just agree that like she's so bad at this? Like, I guess she kind of was able to deliver the pre-written teleprompter speech at the funeral, but as soon as she's in an actual one-on-one, like off the cuff, back and forth with any sort of tough questions being asked, it immediately all falls apart. And you're like, it would have been a lot better for your image if you just stayed in private and it didn't subject everyone to your thoughts or lack of thoughts. Because she's just so stupid. Like, this stuff it doesn't feel at all natural. It doesn't feel like a genuine defense of her husband or even genuine emotions. It just feels like terrible acting.
Yeah, and I think that's the key here. It feels like terrible acting, and that's
full context.
How's it going, Charlie? I'm Austin. I just had a question related to Second Amendment rights. We saw the shooting that happened recently, and a lot of people are upset. But I'm seeing people argue for the other side that they want to take our Second Amendment rights away. How do we convince them that it's important to have the right to defend ourselves and all that good stuff?
Yeah, it's a great question. Thank you. So I'm a big Second Amendment fan, but I think most politicians are cowards when it comes to defending why we have a Second Amendment. This is why I would not be a good politician. Or maybe I would, I don't know, but because I actually speak my mind. The Second Amendment is not about hunting. I love hunting. The Second Amendment is not even about personal defense. That is important. The Second Amendment is there, God forbid, so that you can defend yourself against a tyrannical government.
Come on.
And if that talk scares you, wow, that's radical, Charlie. I don't know about that. Well, then you have not really read any of the literature of our founding fathers. Yep. Number two, you've not read any 20th century history. You're just living in Narnia. By the way, if you're actually living in Narnia, you would be wiser than wherever you're living, because C.S. Lewis was really smart. So I don't know what alternative universe you're living in. Yep. You just don't want to face reality that governments tend to get tyrannical, and that people need an ability to protect themselves and their communities and their families. Now, we must also be real. We must be honest with the population. Having an armed citizenry comes with a price. Wow. And that is part of liberty.
Wow.
Driving comes with a price. 50,000 people die on the road every year.
Yeah, but think about how many people are driving every goddamn day versus how many people are fucking shooting some... Get the fuck out of here.
That's a price. You get rid of driving, you'd have 50,000 less auto fatalities. But we have decided that the benefit of driving, speed, accessibility, mobility, having products, services, is worth the cost of 50,000 people dying on the road. Wow. So we need to be very clear that you're not going to get gun deaths to zero. It will not happen. Right. You can significantly reduce them through having more fathers in the home, by having more armed guards in front of schools.
Just resubscribed for 18 months.
Oh, thank you. Year and a half. Thank you very much for the resubscription.
We should have an honest and clear reductionist view of gun violence, but we should not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. Wow. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have...
It's worth it. When you go to a grieving mother whose kindergartner was gunned down while they were at school, a place where they're supposed to be safe, it's worth it.
Have the Second Amendment to protect our...
Charlie really stood by his statement. Not really. I mean, he kind of went like this and then just leaned over for a minute. I didn't see him stand the whole time.
Their God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe.
He collapsed by this statement.
Sure. So how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at baseball games? Because we have armed guards outside of baseball games. That's why. How do we stop all the shootings at airports?
We'll put armed guards at your schools.
We have armed guards outside of airports. How do we stop all the shootings at banks? We have armed guards outside of banks. Yes. How do we stop all the shootings at gun shows? Notice there's not a lot of mass shootings at gun shows. There's all these guns because everyone's armed.
Students with guns.
If our money and our sporting events and our airplanes have armed guards, why don't our children?
They do. Almost every school now has a resource officer that's armed, right? Like, they do.
That's what's strange, right? I'm not saying it is terrible acting, but that's how it comes across. And she's clearly not the presenter that Charlie Kirk was, right? I have almost nothing nice to say about Charlie Kirk, but because he broadcast every day for hours and hours and hours, he was polished. He was competent on the microphone. He was not saying as much as I do. I'll give him credit for that. That's one of the things I'll give him credit for. Short list. Okay.
And he was a good debater too. Like, you can't deny that about Charlie Kirk, even though he was a fucking propagandist.
Of course. There was a reason he had the position he had, right?
I don't even know if he was a good debater. In the way, like, he memorized exactly what he wanted to talk about and the path that he wanted to lead you down. But when he actually got in the room with a good debater, like when he went to, what did he go to, Cambridge and got fucking owned?
Right? And when you try to swap it out with somebody who's not capable of doing the job, it's going to blow up in your face, right? If let's say that, I was married to someone that was a professional volleyball player, and then it's like, oh, she passed away. Here, why don't you come?
The same way Steven Crowder works for 6 months memorizing all his lines before he goes and dominates a fucking, school with people randomly walking up, and college kids.
Here and you play volleyball now to honor the legacy of your late wife. I'd be like, I don't know anything about volleyball. I played volleyball once and it was humiliating. So I went back to shaking margaritas for the team. You know what I mean? I don't have that skill set. It seems like this is her equivalent of me going out there and trying to play volleyball. She just doesn't have the skills to be on camera. And so it does make it look very stiff. I would say coached, but just poorly coached, just insincere and inauthentic.
Yeah, 100%. And again, she can't actually just be human. You can see in real time as these questions get asked, she's like trying to remember what the correct canned.
This is actually a really good show. I need to subscribe to this channel. I thought I was, but
scripted responses to each of these individual potential questions. Again, it's nothing natural about it. She's not well media trained, 100%. And apparently, Candace Owens did get brought up at one point. This person says on Twitter, the moment the reporter brings up Candace Owens, Erica Kirk's entire expression shifts instantly. And I haven't actually seen the clip from Candace yet, but apparently people were...
God damn, she looks evil as fuck.
That Candace has now been spreading the rumor that actually Charlie and Erica Kirk were like about to get divorced, or they were in the process of potentially getting separated before his death, which obviously would only lead credence to the conspiracies that implicate Erica Kirk in the assassination. So obviously I don't believe any of that stuff, but that's some context for apparently what you're about to see. I haven't watched this clip yet.
The podcaster Candace Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's, at one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she's making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her?
Why are you... She stares at the interviewer like her eyes are mad at their face. Like, I don't even, what the fuck are you doing?
And the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now. Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Oh, God.
Stop.
Oh God, she's like a fucking like fed up like grade school teacher. Like when the kids are like out of stop, you're just into your robe. It's so funny.
It's so fucking creepy, dude. She's got such a hard time pretending to be human.
Sorry, I didn't know if we were going to play it again. Yeah, it is. It's so strange. It's definitely going to have negative repercussions for her. I don't think that she's going to be able to sustain her time at Turning Point USA. Eventually, I think they'll have to retire it, or at least it'll grow irrelevant, and somebody else will be in charge of it because she won't be compelled to do it anymore. But I don't know. Right now, I've never been more convinced that we might see J.D. Vance, Erica Kirk, 2028, trying to do some sort of...
I think we use drones and a net gun, and we just follow Erica Kirk around. And anytime she says stop, we just hit her with a net.
Power couple ticket.
Yeah, I don't know.
The presidency or anything like that, but I just mean for like a political, like, political pageantry type of a deal. Like I could see them being like, we're going to be the next, Barack and Michelle Obama together, but for the right.
That would be insane. I mean, I hope that happens, but just because it would be so fucking cringe. But I mean, I think she's kind of squandered whatever opportunity she actually had, though, to genuinely enter politics in a serious way, because she just sucks at this. She sucks. She's not good at at PR and media, communications, whatever. She's just not. So it's pretty interesting to see all of that implode. And then I think there's one last thing on this front. Maybe not. I thought I had one more tab to get to.
Well, we'll see if the humiliation can continue. But yeah, the other thing that I was thinking about while I was watching this is it's really hard to, imagine like Barry Weiss will sometimes try and present herself as if she's not also a member of the right wing. But for all practical purposes, she is. Does she still pretend to identify as a Democrat?
I think her whole shtick is kind of like just an independent kind of free speech, the free press, whatever. Like I don't know if she actually identifies as either a Democrat or Republican. But I mean, she was not that long ago. She was like a fucking op-ed, head of the op-ed for New York Times and stuff, like the editor. She worked at the New York Times. She definitely comes from that more liberal world. She's kind of like the female.
All right, guys. I'm out. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being here. If you want to support the show, you wanted to keep going, this is how we pay the bills around here. It's 100% funded by you guys. So if you're interested, use this link, select one of the ways to play or to send a donation. Leave a message. We'll read it on air. I appreciate them. Thank you guys for helping us out. I know it's Christmas time and money's tight, but if you can, support the show if you want to. Do it. If you don't. And I'll see everybody on the next one. Have a good night. And we'll see you on the next show. What the fuck is that? Well, there you go. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. We'll see you about the next one. Have a good night.
But I can tell you this about if this.
I'll add that to my list, FR Fox.
Show,
Lance Walnew.
to call out the people on this planet.
Remember where we parked.
And tell them exactly who.
Thank you, Buck Girl. I appreciate it.
The world is. You don't have the fork and balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need.
Oh, thank you very much. But girl, it did go through. I just now refreshed and saw it. All I want for Christmas is for you to save me from Erica's eyes. Thank you very much. That's a large donation, too. Thank you. I appreciate that. Merry Christmas.
Beating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine, with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. My mom's an alcoholic. Oh, give me a... Oh, my God. Damn it. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Piss them off. It's about to get lit. Get the place in the best. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Here we go. I think I started some shit.